Oh my.
Ooh, that was actually way more intense than I remember seeing it the first time earlier today. But welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you recovering from LA weekend this weekend?
Dude, I just woke up about 4 hours ago. That's what it feels like. I've been dead from about mid-Saturday until this morning. How are you feeling so far, dude?
I'm feeling good now. I'm actually kind of hyped. I don't know if you saw me in the preview screen out there. I was bouncing along with it. That was a good hype music. I'm hyped up for it now.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So tonight we will be covering GCW's How High in LA and breaking GCW in their debut in Albuquerque throughout this episode tonight.
You ready to rock and roll on this one, man? This is going to be a thick episode.
Let's do it. I know we have a lot to talk about LA, especially since we were both there and everything. So I think most of the time tonight will be spent on the LA show, giving our firsthand review / experiences / first person point of view that we saw. And then we'll kind of quickly hit Albuquerque and see if we could get this in within our normal time frame that we've been doing as of late.
You ready to rock and roll, my friend? Let's do this big ass show. All right. So yeah, GCW's How High. This was on 420 from the Ukrainian Cultural Center in Los Angeles, California. I'm going to start from the beginning because that's the best place to start. I'm going to start from my perspective because that's what I have here. My crew, they pulled into the parking lot and there were parties everywhere. It looked like campsites with circles of fans. They were evenly dispersed throughout the parking lot. The smoke in the white-orange kind of lights, it was a little more, it was surreal. Each group had their own space. Everyone was super friendly. No one could have felt unwelcome or unsafe. There were just smiles everywhere. Real tailgating going on. Someone had a TV set up with Minions playing. Another group cranked up some Slayer. It's just the atmosphere you want to see at our shows. We're all friends and we just don't know each other yet. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention there. The next thing in the parking lot, Real Kind Meds. They were giving out 100 milligram gummies. They worked. One dude in my group took 200 and he was super relaxed by the 7th match. You'll never be out of weed at the UCC if you hit up Real Kind Meds. I'm not, sponsored or anything, just personal experience. Find him on Twitter, DM him. It really makes your experience better, especially if you're traveling from out of town and you want to worry about something like that. But yeah, you got a hold of me, Brant. You were there a little early. You were standing in line. I was kind of saying hi to a couple people in the parking lot there, and you were like, hey, hit me up when you get here. I was there, and then you came and got me, and yeah, that line moved really quick, man. We went right in.
Yeah, the line, like I was in line. I was probably like the 20th or 30th person in line. And then, yeah, when you showed up, I'm like, all right, let me hop out of line. And right when I hopped out of line, Church was like, all right, doors are open. I'm like, ah, shit. And then I came out, told you. And yeah, we hopped in probably even faster than what I would have if I would have stayed there. That was really good. I love the line being that short and that quick because that's always, I know when I went to the Vikingo one, that was like, I was there early, like 10 minutes early before bell time, but there was still a line of people trying to get people in, and I didn't get into like halfway through the first scramble. So being able to get in right away and not have to actually sit there in line was actually kind of nice.
Yeah, I was laughing. I just saw in my notes here, give GCW crew credit for having a fast moving ticket line. So yeah, we're on the same page there. They do their damn job. And I didn't know when the line was going to open. I thought it was going to be 30 minutes before the show. So I was really thankful that you were able to get a hold of me real quick and be like, dude, party's over. And then you come and got me as like an adult, the one adult in the room and was like, hey dude, you got a show to get into. And I'm like, okay. So I went over there. Yeah. Doors were, this was the 7th sold out show at the UCC, which I think is a beautiful thing. Do you know if there's another venue that GCW has sold out 7 times before?
I never really hit like, we don't hear sellout too much. Like I was going to say Pops, but like I don't even know if they actually ever sell out Pops, but they always got like a big crowd there. Yeah. Melrose Ballroom maybe, but not said they haven't been there 7 times, but I know they usually get a pretty good crowd there. I would say AC, but they now with the terminal, the crowd size
it's so large,
a little bit bigger. Yeah. So
Talia Hall maybe.
Oh yeah, that's another one I actually heard on their podcast. They kind of said they've been getting really good ticket sales there too.
So yeah, we walked into that UCC after barely any line. You know, I'm inside. I looked at that beautiful golden glow that comes in when you enter the doors. Anybody who's been there knows there's this really cool looking golden glow that's just everywhere. The lights were on, people everywhere, talents were selling merch. The bar line was moving quickly, which I appreciate. You can't walk far without running into a wrestler, which is the GCW experience. Joey was up front in that prime spot near the front door. Gringo wasn't there to fight him for it. And I got a chance to spoke briefly with Joey. He's a good man, and I'm sure we're going to have a chance to talk soon, but he's working, and I wanted to make sure I stayed out of his way. Who did you end up meeting this weekend? Anybody that's new to you, or did you just kind of see the regulars that you like to talk to? Or
Yeah, I just kind of saw Jordan after the show. Before the show, I was you were talking to Joey, but I didn't go up talk to him. I didn't really have much to say. I was like, when I get in, I'm like one of those merch hounds. I go in right away. Like I gotta hop in and get all the merch I can because I gotta get my 3X size before they sell out. And but I didn't really talk to many much. I know you're probably gonna talk to it here too. But we talked to Brett earlier and stuff, and yeah, that's all that I really talked to. I kind of kept it quiet into myself this time.
yeah, but you're that dude. Like you're that dude. You like to get your merch, you like to watch your show, like to dissect it and have fun. I'm like social butterfly. My wife has to find me later. You know, she's already met half the people I haven't. You know, it's
that's kind of what I do with you and with you and your wife. Like when I'll like go with you one place and then you'll start talking and then like I kind of walk away, go check out merch. I see your wife in another merch line. I'm like, oh yeah, John's over there. Oh wait, no, he's over there. Like I got to help her keep track of you with that night.
Yeah, I really should have like one of those tethers around my wrist, and my wife can just kind of keep me at all times. Yeah, I talked to a lot of familiar faces. There were a lot of listeners that we also talked to. They had a lot of really nice things to say. Again, we're very fortunate. We have fantastic, positive listeners, and we don't have to deal with Twitter X drama or anything like that. So it's really nice, and we're very thankful for that. I was loving that new black canvas that was on the ring there. Did you see that?
I loved it too. I just wish they would have had like a GCW logo on it. Like, it seems like in LA they usually bust out like the new mats. I kind of miss like the old like Laker color ones. I really enjoyed when they did that. But yeah, when I saw the black mat, I think I pointed out to him like, oh, that's nice, but just missing like a GCW in the middle. But it would have been actually so cool. Like that's what I really loved about the old Ring of Honor days, old black and red mats or the all black mats with the red Ring of Honor like that. I'm obviously black and red is my favorite color. So seeing those kind of put together in a ring format, I do enjoy better than like I was complaining about that WrestleMania, seeing just a giant prime bottle in the middle. I'm like, what the hell is this? This was like the dumbest thing ever. Like, I don't even really care too much about the mats, but like I could like when it's real bad, it sticks out to me. But when it looks real good, it sticks out to me as well. And I did enjoy seeing a black mat.
Yeah, I think that GCW may be coming on that because it would look beautiful. So I feel it's maybe only a matter of time before maybe we just get one like that. I'm not really sure. So let's see what I got next here. I was really surprised there wasn't a GCW weed themed shirt. It would have sold like crazy. What do you think on that one?
I miss those theme shirts. Like even when they went to each location, they used to have like every shirt, like you could get a special one. Like I didn't buy any merch for myself this weekend. Like I feel like the last couple of times I've been to LA too, like they really haven't had new merch other than kind of like what's been out there or what we've kind of already gotten on the Patreon. So yeah, I do miss the theme shirt, especially with this one of the How High. Like I think they missed out on a big money maker there as well.
Well, something interesting that happened, and I wanted to mention it because it's really cool. Perch and Chad Rico came up to me after the show, and they gave me an awesome DDT shirt from the collective as a gift. I couldn't have appreciated the love any more than I did. Thank you so much. Brant's like,
I love DDT. I would have loved the shit out of that shirt.
You know what? I also think it's partially because I came up to him from the time when Steph got popped there, just on like, I actually went up to each of the referees that helped. And I said, hey, thank you for being so kind and professional and helping out me and my wife when I was just like, what do I do? and they came over.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe, they might have just went like, wow, what a nice guy for saying something. So I don't know.
And you're more of a social person than I am too. Like you talk to them a lot more than what I ever do or even do. Like I've talked to Perch a little bit here and there, but not like how you
Yeah.
talk to him. So yeah, them taking care of you was nice. But I'm like, hey, what the hell? Like I kind of got chills now just seeing that in type. And I know you told me that beforehand, but I'm like, wait, it was a DDT shirt. I love DDT, man. But no, that's cool. They took care of you like that. That's super cool that they did that because they didn't have to do anything like that. But they're good people, and that's why we always shout them out on the podcast. And obviously, we talk about their good work too, but talk about how good of a people they are with that. And I know, like when you were going through your thing with your mom, like you had a lot of people reach out to you too that were kind of surprising names.
Yes,
I thought that was
referees.
Awesome and cool all those people to do too. Referees, wrestlers. Yeah, even Brett send you a thing. Like I think that's so cool. Like we've kind of built this community, and they take care and of you and like if like that and stuff. And so I thought that was just awesome. That was cool, even though I got a little jealous now.
It's just I really do think also, like I said, several referees especially got a hold of me after, my mom passed, and I'm just like, wow. And Adam even came up to me, this is of course a couple weeks later after all this happened. He doesn't have to remember. He's like, I'm so sorry and such, gave me a huge hug. So I think that may have also played into it a little bit, was just the fact that, you give it out, you bring it back, and something popped in their mind. Hey, let's just do this. Maybe it'll make him feel better. He's still grieving, kind of thing. So I think that was all mixed in there, part of it, but I took it all as appreciation, and I take that as a compliment. So it was humbling. Absolutely. Like I was ready to like tear up. I'm like, are you guys serious? But I go back to the thing we've always said before, every kind word matters. And the referees at GCW, they're just excellent at their jobs. And people maybe don't realize that a good referee can really elevate a match, and vice versa. And, it's just, we have elevators for referees. And what I mean by that is some are better at one things than others. And I just feel like we really have some of the best out there. Ask Nick Gage about the importance of referees. Brett Lauderdale's referee position, especially in his match, Brett was strictly Nick's referee for a very long time. And that's how important a referee can be. So I just wanted to say, if you can, when you see them walk by, at least say hi, because they are cool as hell. They're just not out there doing the kickflip, but they're making sure all those moves still go down smoothly, and they're making sure that communication is where it needs to be. So much love.
Perch was out there giving out the tickets to everybody and before the show and stuff. Like they ain't just working behind the out in the ring. They're out there busting their ass before the show and after the show. So it was kind of nice seeing Perch. And Perch took the time too to speak to each person. Like he saw like the shirt. He's like, "Oh, Jordan fan, nice big match tonight." Then like the fan behind us, Nick Gage, like, "Oh, sad he's not on the card tonight. Maybe we'll get a special entrance kind of thing just to kind of see him." And like that was cool. Like he's out there taking time and talking to each fan personally and individually. And that's something they don't have to do, especially before a line. And that just goes off of everything you just said, that not only are they great performers, but they're really awesome people too.
Yeah. We try to do everything we can to just expand upon that, and we want everyone to know that they're really appreciated. So I do want to go into the appreciation part on our side, because this is big news for us, but we did speak to Brett in LA before the show. Both Brant and I went over there, and we just wanted to say hi. We usually try to say hi at least once. We understand that he's working, and, we're full grown adults. We respect that. He's trying to put on something big. Not only that, but he's trying to coordinate it all, and there's so many moving parts. So we went over there. He immediately just said that he's happy with us at Game Changer Weekly and what we're doing. He wants to help as much as possible. We, again, understand his busy schedule, so he's going to do the best he can given his schedule. We hope to bring him on as a guest down the road. He wants to come on. Again, that's the time thing. But Game Changer Wrestling is on board with Game Changer Weekly. We're really happy. We're going to be doing everything we can to partner up further. I'll talk more about that here in a second, but thank you, Brett, for your help and the inspiration you've given us to try harder and go further with this little podcast that has now grown a little. So I'm very proud of that.
And I think that's a big thing too, because he even supported us when we did like our plant podcast. He was supporting us then too. But
yes,
now that we're on like a bigger platform and kind of got bigger recognition and better,
we got better. We had to practice.
80 episodes. He's still behind us even more and stuff like that. And he said it was kind of cool seeing us kind of go from one to another. So I thought that was pretty cool of him mentioning that.
And it's all hard work. That's really what comes down to it. It's practice and hard work. We were nowhere prepared for this a year ago, and we wanted to be on Patreon so bad and this and that. And it's like, well, after we talk and look at everything, we're on a good path and we're happy. And with help from several people at GCW, we were given the best advice to do what we can with our podcast to make it something that everybody can listen to and create a positive experience where we're really, expanding on some of the best things about GCW and why we're fans. So
I always get
we're just getting
scared
started over here at Game Changer Weekly. What's that? You always get scared. You know what? Like I said, that's not your thing. Like, you're the chill guy. You're the relaxed.
That, and I always lately, oh, come on, dude, get the belt off Blake. Or what are we doing this booking? But he doesn't ever care about personal issues with the booking and stuff like that. He's always cool with that. Yeah, that's exactly what he said on the Patreon podcast. He's like, people are gonna be mad at the booking and everything else. That's fine, but don't shit on stuff that I know, hey, that is out there doing stuff and you're sitting there complaining about it. He's was cool with that. So, but every time I go see him, I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna say something about me bitching about Blake or something like that?
But yeah, it's just, I tried to make it clear on my end for sure, because I didn't want to speak for you, but I told him I'm not doing this for money. That wasn't what it's about. I'm not doing this for fucking seats. I'm not doing this for Patreon membership. I'm actually doing it because I like it. This brought me back into wrestling when I was definitely wavering a little bit, because even after 30 plus years, I was like, this isn't too good. And then AEW kind of failed out with me personally after, Punk's huge win at Las Vegas here. That once he got injured there, it was like I was having a hard time watching. So well before that, though, Moxley came on and went to this GCW company, and I'm like, I got to go check that out. And that's when it really hit me. Holy shit, we have a modern day GCW, but they're way better. And where ECW was talking, GCW is putting in the effort. So that is what really started. And we might as well just roll through it. Yeah, you went on and you're like, hey, I need to have someone that would like to come on with me and talk about GCW. And I found you, or you found me. We talked for just a split second. We ended up being 7 minutes driving away from each other. And it's like, holy crap, how did that even happen? Then we found out we were sitting next to each other at shows. No idea the whole time. Yeah. But yeah, we're just getting started over here at Game Changer Weekly. GCW was built around the fans. The fans make the show. GCW agrees with that 100%. So on our end, we're doing our best to be the fans' voice. And I just wanted to kind of make that clear publicly. GCW regulars. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Just speaking of fans real fast, I just want to piggyback just so that we can show we're not ignoring the chat hour and a half into the thing. Alan, I see your messages. We are probably hitting all that stuff at the end when we kind of do our quick little preview stuff. So stick around. We do have some opinions and thoughts on all those things that you just mentioned there. And we got some fun talking points there later, Alan.
Yeah, I just saw what Alan said. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we're digging into that, brother. Don't sweat. Stick with us on that one. So yeah, the next thing I wanted to say, GCW regulars, the wrestlers, let me say it here to avoid unnecessary DMs. This is an open invitation publicly right now to come on at any time. This podcast is strictly here for your success. DM me or DM Brant, and we'll hit you back with the link anytime. Cut a promo, advertise something, tell a joke, pound beers and leave, whatever. Anyone, anytime, as long as you like. We like surprises. We also want fans to tune in and just see something incredible happen. So by all means, this show is for your success. Show up when you want to. We'll shoot you a link at any time. We've had surprises almost every show, either on chat or who knows what, and it could happen again when we don't know. So, who knows what could happen tonight? We have no idea yet, but fingers crossed someone wants to talk for a couple minutes, and yeah, we'll shoot you a link anytime you want to, man. Anybody, feel free. To our family of listeners, thank you. We say it a lot because we earnestly mean it. You matter so much to us. Most already know also, I'm only a DM away. If any listeners need to get a hold of me, need to talk about something, have any questions, just want to say hi. Several listeners already know. Hit me up, talk to me for a minute. We're approachable. We're not special. We're not somebody who feels we're just fans, man. And if somebody wants to talk with me about wrestling, that's what I love to do. Difficult, right? What do you think, B? You like your wrestling talk?
Oh yeah, that's why I had to. That's why had to find somebody to sit here and listen to me talk GCW because my wife got tired of it. Nah, yeah, and I want to piggyback too off that wrestler. Not piggyback, but just same thing. Like we mentioned that because we see the wrestlers in the chat, and like we just always want them to feel welcome to come on and talk and stuff like that. So even when they're in the chat, that's so cool and surprised. Like we're like, dude, did you see who was in the chat tonight and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, anytime you guys want to come on, shoot us a message send us a DM. We'll send you a link and hop on, even just to come on and tell us what you ate for dinner. We're big food people too, obviously. So
yeah, seem to be a big fan of the calories. I don't know. So on to the show on Saturday. I was missing some of my favorites. That happens every show. I have a lot of favorites. However, good booking and hard work from the performers made the show better than I expected and really fun. The average match time was around 12 minutes. We're talking around 20 minutes a segment per match. That's fairly impressive there. What do you think on that one? 12-minute match is pretty damn good.
I don't feel like any match kind of dragged on. I enjoyed honestly, that was, I don't know if it's just because I was back in the front row for this first time in a long time, but that was probably one of my funnest shows in LA, like outside of Collective Weekend. That was an incredible show. I think what you said too, the wrestlers went out and balled out. Like that from the moment that opening scramble happened, I texted you, I'm like, that's fucking match one. Like the energy, the talent, like holy shit, it was incredible. And I had to say this too, being like a fan perspective, and I get not nitpicky, but I do notice it. I don't think I saw a single missed spot or botched spot at all the entire night by anybody, and that just even blows my mind too, because that they were doing some crazy shit. And like Zilla, I'm going to talk about him a lot later. Holy fuck, man, that was incredible. Like, and the performers that we maybe didn't see or don't expect too much of it absolutely stepped up, and it was such a fun night, man. I came left with a smile on my face, came home with a smile on my face, and tonight I'm gonna be talking with a smile on my face because there's so much good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I've noticed. I was talking to someone about this in the last year, especially the match quality and performer quality that we've had in GCWs went up exponentially, and I think it's paid off quite a bit. Same thing with just having our regulars. You know, the regulars are put on better matches than they were a year ago. They're more confident in who they are. They're more matured in their storytelling. And that has really made a big difference in the overall product from the fans' perspective. Another fan perspective thing, I started watching WWE again. I know you're kind of always watching WWE off and on, right?
Yeah. I watch it.
Raw, SmackDown.
I'm a sicko. I watch everything. I had to sacrifice NXT for a little bit because now we started doing this podcast. But I can usually watch it while I'm watching Dynamite on Wednesdays. I'm a sicko. Yeah. I watch all the day, every day, whatever's big promotions on, I watch it. Then the weekends, it just becomes a free for all with all the other companies and independent companies doing a bunch of cool stuff. Like I still got a list of I'm backed up on WrestleMania weekend still, so I gotta check out some of those shows still.
So yeah, a few thoughts I wanted to give to the GoPro team that covers all the GCW shows. I love you, so check this out. Watch the way WWE is doing some of their angles and maybe try to give some of them a try. The reason why I'm saying that is because the angles that they've chosen came from a multi-billion-dollar company that put plenty of work and time into it, and the angles look fresh, and they're making wrestling look different for the first time in a long time. So yeah, maybe cheat off their homework a little bit. Yes,
from last week's Raw, that was incredible. That was nuts.
Oh, I've always loved the angle where the camera walks around the ring. I love that, where two wrestlers are in the ring doing their thing, and then you see the whole thing kind of walk around. I love it because you're getting that perspective. It's like looking at a statue and then walking around it. So especially when the wrestlers are in a hold, it looks awesome when you're walking around it. Maybe a shot following the wrestler through the curtain for that awesome tunnel shot, like a tunnel, and then it opens up into light, and boom, you get that golden glow from the UCC. The UCC is beautiful. I think we should see more of it. Fans at home are barely seeing the three walls off camera. Like, it's kind of rare. But when I'm on hard cam looking across the ring, I always notice there's a sea of people. And in the opening of GCW, I'm wondering, has there ever been a consideration of putting a camera person in the ring and shooting a 360, like showing us from a bird's eye view what the whole place looks like just for the opening. I just don't be afraid to try and cheat off of others' homework, GoPro, because we love you. And I feel like what WWE is doing is the future of how they're going to be shooting wrestling. It doesn't hurt to give it a try. You may find something in there you really like and use it from going forward. So I don't know if you want to add to that.
They do that back, like you said, the entrance. Like I really like at Hammerstein when you got to see them come out of Hammerstein. There was a high camera, like at that stage. You got to see like the Nick entrance pop and get like his entrance and seeing the crowd pop all around it. Like I really like that. They do that at Talia Hall too, but I think that's because it's a similar setup as I kind of mentioned before. Like Talia Hall reminds me of a mini Hammerstein, but those are the only two places I really see like that shot that you were kind of talking about. Like, but I think as you said too, like going in and out of the UCC, I could kind of see that like a little camera going through that little it's a little tight space, but like going through the hard cam area and going out that front entrance and everything. Like that would be kind of cool. Like seeing like little stuff like that. But I think they GoPro everything we've asked for, they've done, and like even gone further and beyond everything we asked for. Like they even made like their presentation has been spot on, really good too. But I do like some of the new stuff that WWE's trying out, and it has been actually really cool. Some of the stuff they've been doing as of late.
Oh my, going back and watching, I also noticed Dave Prazak was on fucking fire all night. Dude is worth every penny. The priceless work he's putting in. It's just like, he's the sane voice within the sanity. And it works so well. It's like how Joey Styles was with the craziness that was in ECW. He was able to sit there and really, nail it out. I feel like that's what we have for Prazak here. And he would be a terrible loss. Lord forbid something happens to him, because he's a diamond right now.
Yeah, I didn't fully watch it. I got through like half of it, watching it on Triller TV. But one thing, production wise, I don't know if you noticed, you didn't see like the green screen in the back.
I was gonna mention that. I loved it.
I like that. That was really cool. Then like I saw like one of the times Emma was getting in the ring. I'm like, oh come on, Emma, you gotta he's gotta get the heads up there, not to wear certain colors that kind of mesh in with it. But it looked good. I really liked last spot, because at first I'm like, did I miss that live? Is that like a live video back there? And then like when I came the second time and I saw the emerald stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, they were using some green screen effect. But I thought that was a cool new presentation idea, kind of what we were just mentioning, that I kind of did forget about it when we were talking about it. But now you mentioned Prazak, that reminded me of that. So they are trying new things. I do like it. I please encourage you to try out more things and see what works and see what doesn't, because that was awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? You're only going to expand yourself. You're going to try one thing here, one thing there. If 1 out of 10 things sticks, then the other 9 ideas were definitely worth failing. So if one thing comes out of it new, then guess what? That's part of the fresh new GCW that you may be creating there with your vision. So something worth thinking about. But yeah, Emil opens the show. I'm really high is what he had to say. The fans popped loud. I can tell it's going to be a great night. Throughout the night, I was laughing at the occasional smoke that kept rising from the fans' heads every now and then. That had me laughing. And I never mention it, but I love Emil's white Jordans. Have you had a chance to check them out? Boys got
I wasn't looking at his shoes. I was looking at the horns that he had growing out of his hat on 420.
Yeah, my wife got a couple good pictures of those horns.
And to go back off the clouds of smoke, man, there was a lot, but Brett was handling it. Like he came over to like a group next to me and said, like in between matches, like, hey guys, like at first he looked at me, he's like, you smoking? I'm like, I ain't got nothing. No way, dude. I ain't got nothing over here. And then like the guys next to me, like, oh, it's us. He's like, hey, just kind of cool it down a little bit. You can't be doing it every 5 minutes. Like cool it down and stuff. So I thought that was cool. Like he was able to manage it that way. And like, even it being a 420 show, and just kind of speaking off the fans too, there was zero problems. There was no fights, no craziness. Like, yeah, the people jumped on Nick Gage, but it was different people this time. It seems like some of the ones that kind of caused problems are gone, is kind of what I heard on the Patreon. Or learned,
or learned, yeah.
But even like trying to fight through the crowds and stuff, like I had people like making way, hey, yeah, make way, like, hey, watch out, someone else is coming through. Like that, it was actually really good. The fans have been, and I think ever since the collective, whatever they done too. Like I know he talks about his security, that he kind of got different teams in different areas. Big shout out to them too, because they've been able to wrangle the LA crowd in and still have them go nuts and crazy, but in a respectful and everybody here is to enjoy the show, not just you kind of manner. And I definitely wanted to shout out them too, because that was one of the, once again, more well-ran shows. LA seems to be getting better and better with those, like with how
Yes.
the fans are being ran and being controlled a little bit.
Dude, I think I've had 8 shows, roughly 7, 8 shows in LA. And the first show I went to and the difference between this last show I went to are night and day. I don't walk around there going, wow, shit, what the hell is going? It's more like, feels a little more homey now. People are less aggressive. It's the same people every time in the front row. It was like all the front rows. So I mean, it's kind of friendly to everyone, but yeah, something changed. Something in the atmosphere changed, and it could have been tighter security, but it worked. And I'm thankful because it makes it a lot easier on the nice people.
And I want to piggyback Kev C. Like he said, after the Stoner Brothers and Grim Reaper, we saw that it was okay and went for it. I thought that was kind of funny though. Brett's coming out yelling at them for having some ball. Like literally, Grim Reaper's throwing 4 of them out to the crowd, and the crowd's passing it around to each other. I'm like, how you gonna go yell at them and then say that stuff? But I get it. It was all good. It was all perfect. It was good. Like I just thought that was a little funny in the moment, because the one guy looked at me, and then I said that same thing to him. Like, how they gonna yell at you when they just tossed a full on gun over there? I honestly, that's kind of who we're talking about, Kev.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe a couple people were going to talk to more, but fortunate anybody who did anything, like it was so sparse. And I think also, you know, it's like, don't do it on camera, because then we're known for that place where people just sit on your thing and on camera just start smoking weed. So I think he was just saying, hey, they're just saying be responsible about it, you know, like,
yep. That's exactly like kind of what it seemed like. Brett's like, hey, dude, they can't be doing it in 5 minutes on camera. Like we don't know when we're on camera or whatever. But it's like, that's why he kind of like said, chill a little bit, like cool. Like, he didn't even say chill. He's like, cool it down. Like you just don't do it as often as you're doing it, because as you said, the camera can pick it up. And Kev, yeah, that's kind of who we were talking about. Kind of like a little bit like I've even had interactions with him. He's actually really nice, but he just gets too out, like just like everybody else. You get too past your limit, then it gets kind of outrageous. But I don't even want to single him just out. There's a couple ones, but they did seem to handle it. And it's just the alcohol kicks in, they get too crazy. But other than that, the LA crowd was really chill, really cool, and I have been enjoying the shows a lot lately.
Well, yeah, because even, I mean, Nick Gage goes through his little thing, but, you know, he can walk around without getting pushed. I was going to mention it later, but Maki Ito didn't have to have a tight circle of security around her. You know, no one's pawing or touching on her. She's walking over seats between the first and second row. There's no fucking around, and it was wonderful. And that's just, I don't know, growing up or something, but I thought it was really nice that the wrestlers can feel safe, especially when we're trying to make sure fans feel safe. Yeah. So I was really happy for that. We have a show to cover, don't we?
All right,
I forgot about the matches. We've just been talking about our experiences.
That's all right. All right. Our first match of GCW's How High was a 7-way scramble, as the competitors were Rico Gonzalez, Jordan Cruz, Hunter Drake, Eli Everfly, Braden Toon, Bodie Young Prodigy, and Mr. Danger, which is the surprise. Well, the scramble was a surprise in general, but Mr. Danger was supposed to be in that triple or 6-man tag, and then something happened with another one, so he got taken. Blake got taken off to go to Ring of Honor. That's what happened. But it was cool seeing they still had a spot for Danger. LA crowd absolutely loved Danger. He killed it again. And yeah, I just, with this scramble, my mouth was on the floor. It was nonstop, go, go, go. Bodie has improved. That was his match. He looked like he belonged. He didn't look like the little kid. He looked like the young kid in that match, but he belonged. He balled out. He went crazy. You see the charisma coming through. I enjoyed seeing him just continue to grow, because I've seen him in the kids class at FSW teaching it, but now seeing him kind of getting the bigger spots in GCW's nuts. I see him out there, but I miss Vandegrift in that kind of moment. I know Vandegrift's doing some stuff for New Japan, the dojo, but seeing Bodie kill it out here, represent Vegas. Eli Everfly came out with the mask, I thought, which was cool, seeing him with the mask. And I know Hunter Drake, we kind of both have to eat our words there. That was the best Hunter Drake I've seen. That was incredible. He killed it. Everybody killed it. Braden, Jordan Cruz, Rico Gonzalez, and then of course Mr. Danger with the high flying. that scramble was insane. I couldn't imagine following that up because that was match one and the crowd was hyped and everything was perfect on that scramble. I loved it.
All right. So I'm going to go through some notes here and I'll stop to breathe and let you kind of jump in when you get a chance here. I wrote down fantastic opener that kicked off a fun show. I knew already when I started to see posts from Gonzalez, Toon, and Drake, New South was going to show the fuck up. Now, when they're getting called in out from LA, and I already knew that there were 8 matches announced or maybe, I already knew it was probably going to be a scramble coming in. And, I was really happy about that. I didn't get to say hi, but I got to see Rico wrestle. I hope he saw that we tried really hard to cheer for him. Our crew of 4 love him a lot. He's an absolute sweetheart to us on X. And, you know, he showed up for me. I wanted to make sure I showed up for him in LA. So that was something that was really excellent. You were talking about Mr. Danger. Every time I see Mr. Danger, I'm a bigger fan. Before I go further, your thoughts on him?
Oh, I love obviously the high flying daredevilness. Like that's needed in these scrambles and in the LA and the high spots, and he delivers every single time. And after, like I said, I still kind of got worried after the ladder match that he was in during the cluster at the clusterfuck or Joey Janela spring break. But ever since then, it seems like he was fine. Just got a little dinged up, and he's been killing it. And I was really happy to see him live and in person again because that was like being front row too was insane watching some of the shit that he was doing, but everybody was doing.
Yeah, he's one of my new favorites. Like, I just see a very nice guy working hard to entertain. Something about him makes me want to root for him. He's a different kind of underdog. He reminds me of a high spot Spike Dudley type, you know, like a type underdog. And if we had Dudley boys, I definitely stick him with them immediately because, you know, you've got 2, you know, brutes out there and then you have the high spot guy. I mean, you've got the best of both worlds on that one. Bodie Young Prodigy, you mentioned. Yeah, he's becoming a mainstay on the LA shows. I'm really a big fan of the kid also. He's a Las Vegas native and already a 2-time FSW No Limits champion. He's an obvious face. I want you to know to watch out. He has the propensity to be a fantastic heel. And I hope the GCW fans get to see it one day because when he gets on you, it's a whole different type of anger you have for him. And Brant, you know it, you've seen it. When Bodie goes heel, man, people get mad. It's like, you're not supposed to be like this mad. It gets personal almost. It's really, really good stuff.
It's a young cockiness in him. Like he's like, I belong here. I know, like I'm better than you, and I'm 17 or however old he is now. Like I'm doing better things than you. Like he gets super cocky, and I do like that because I kind of thought he was like a little heel kind of in this match too, with him like his facial reactions and how he was doing his little taunts and stuff like that. I saw a little heelish work in him, and I think it works good to the crowd because I think the LA crowd could kind of hate on him a little bit more than he would get somewhere else.
I love it. That's just those are our people, man. I love seeing Braden Toon back. He's my kind of wrestler, large and powerful, unexpected amounts of agility. I feel he's got charisma and a good look to him. So he's another one that I think is one of New South's finest that I hope to see go far. Eli Everfly, another West Coast mainstay, baby. Fans love hating him. He always pulls off something fresh that I've never seen before. That's what I like about Eli. Another one that's not afraid of heights either.
And he's so innovative too. Like he's got, like as you said, some creative new moves. Every time we see him, he pulls out something different. And he's, as you said, he's not afraid to go out there and try it and go crazy with the high flying stuff. I've seen him crash and burn, but I don't ever complain because at least he tried doing something really cool for us. It just didn't work out that time. Yeah, and then the next time he kills it, like he comes out and it's like, that's how it was supposed to look, and it looked really good. One thing I want to say on Eli, when Bodie was on the top trying to doing his little corkscrew dive to the outside, I did notice when they grouped up and stuff, like I could just hear Eli like, catch him, catch the kid, like reminding everybody, hey, catch him, like this is still a kid out there. We gotta protect him. And I thought that was really cool of Eli. Like it was something a little subtle, like it wasn't probably caught on camera or nothing. Only someone like if you're looking at that and paying attention around the action value, I heard, and I just thought that was cool of him to kind of mention that and protect Bodie throughout the match.
And it's a good example of some of the stuff that goes on in the middle matches you never hear or see unless you're, you know, where you were in your position. But A lot of wonderful things going on. Some humanity type things there. Catch
Yeah,
this
right.
kid. Don't let this kid fall on his fucking head, you know?
Yep.
My next one, Jordan Cruz. Los Angeles is definitely Cruz country. I have a huge upside on this guy, tremendous power. He has good looks. I feel that he has big things ahead. It's only a matter of when. I always say hi to him whenever I can because I do see something special in him. And here's another reason why. He's one of the few wrestlers I see collecting chairs at the end of the fucking night, you know? So I
Yep.
just want to say that we see everything up to and including the fact that you're out there fucking sore after your match, making sure that those chairs get collected. So
Yeah.
kudos on you, brother.
He killed it again. And as you said, every time we see him in LA, it seems like this pop gets bigger and bigger. And I think like the last time I saw it, like we saw him was like a one-on-one match. I think I complained like, hey, a little bit too many knees. Like half of his moveset was knees. Like he did the one strong or two strong, powerful knees in good spots, and like that was it. But we got to see a lot more of his moveset this time, and that's the Cruz I love to see because that's what I know he has in him. Like he's got a pretty impressive moveset, and he could do anything and anything that you ask him to do. And with his good looks and butt build and getting the charisma and the crowd behind him, like
did you say butt build?
Well, I hope I did.
You said.
I hope I did it, but his build is good.
You were just you stuttered for a second. It just sounded like butt build. I'm sorry, I had to stop.
No, you're
it was
good.
Too funny.
No, I'm impressed with everything he does because he is so impressive, and I'm glad to see him continue to grow and build off of what I think. I agree with you. I think he's got some big star qualities and talent, and he's now finally showing it out, and it's been awesome to see.
All righty, so here we go for our third member of the New South crew that came out for the show. I finally got to see Hunter Drake live in the front row. It was an absolute treat. I was originally rough on the kid over a year and a half ago. Now, I'm going to tell you that we keep things so positive that this has been stuck in my head for this long because I feel terrible. So I don't know if I was having a bad day or I didn't explain myself, as good as I should. So I'm just going to basically just explain here. I said I would like to see him take in calories and hit weights because I think it would benefit him. I said, I'm a big guy, so I shouldn't be talking, but I feel like if he did that, it would benefit his career. Sincere apologies to you, Hunter, if that did come off wrong. I want to see him bulk up some, and here's why, at least. He has Jordan Oliver's torso, which when it's fully developed, it looks fantastic. He's got the long torso, everything. Match that with his good looks. He's got long hair, long limbs, and a lot of potential. I feel that with hard work in the gym paired with a more mature body that comes with age, I think he'll have something that will push him into the next level. What I see here is potential. I love his high spots. I feel he chooses them wisely. I'm looking forward to him possibly preserving himself just a bit because I see him growing into a bigger company one day. I just don't know when, but I think the decision is partially in his control. I haven't spoken to him, and I hope to very soon. To be fair, though, it's not my career, and I'm just one opinion. I can't argue his library of highlights and matches. I can't argue his 4 title wins. I can't argue his hard work and determination to succeed. Like I said, I'm just one opinion. If I pulled him aside for his betterment, these would be the things I would say. And I mean them because I feel if he followed them, he would be great from the physicality perspective. His mic work is above average and will grow with time. His entrance is great. He sucks fan into his character from the minute the music hits. His fan engagement in ring is very good. He found cameras and posed. My wife has a great picture she put on X. He's vocal. He's unafraid. His personality shows without words. Great smile, big eyes. I love the jersey. I say consider putting on external knee pads to add some variety to the color of your pants. His moonsaults have a nice snap on the rotation. He sells almost everything with his whole body the way it should be done. Believability will grow as his size grows. Boy, I was just saying, you're getting taken apart like chicken tonight. But I do it because I believe in you, and I felt bad because I'm rarely negative or saying anything that could be taken in that fashion. So I wanted to fix this one. And so I figured I would write it out and say that first before I just walk up and go, hey, man, da-da-da. No. I really sat there and looked at it. I watched, I studied, especially after, like I said, I think that was the best Hunter Drake match I've seen. And we've seen quite a few at GCW.
I agree.
Hard to argue.
Seeing him live like that, and how much he improved, that was the better Hunter Drake. He had the crowd was way more behind him than normal too, and I think he played to the crowd in good spots. I think him and Braden too, and obviously because all the work they do together in New South, their chemistry I think really shown, and that kind of helped out a lot as well. But he has definitely improved, and I don't know if I texted you or I wanted to, or like I looked at you about like Hunter Drake. Yep, thumbs up. That was one of the best ones we've seen. I was super happy and impressed with Hunter Drake that night as well.
Well, I'm just hoping he hears everything I said because I do strongly believe in him. I guess I just needed to see more. Now I find myself in a position where I want to see more. So I feel good things ahead for him. And I really hope publicly that kind of makes it a little more understandable so that I feel like it's being done right. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of round it out because it's a positive thing to do. And hard work is hard work and being good is undeniable. I saw it and I felt I was wrong. So that's where we landed. I feel that this match was featuring more of Bodie, Drake, and Danger. And then this is where I wanted to give just a little bit of advice. There was a lot of young and smart talents in this match. Average age was around 24 or 25 years old, maybe. My recommendation to the younger performers is to attach yourself to as many veterans as possible and ask for as much help and advice that you can get. Most of you are too talented to pass that opportunity to grow. They've already made most of your mistakes and they're offering to let you cheat off of their old tests. Take advantage and prevent a few fails. I say this because in my 40 years of wrestling experience, I've seen parts of the art slowly lost in every generation. You know, clotheslines have less contact and less believability now, but some sell clotheslines better than in the old days. Punches are sold as minimally painful. Finishers don't always finish. Another reason why I like Blake Christian's curb stomp, when he hits it, it's over. Fans know it, and they start booing before the 3 count's over. A DDT used to be the end of the match. Then Sweet Chin Music, Undertaker's Tombstone, then it was the Stunner, the Rock Bottom. Things are going to continue to evolve. But some of the greatest artists have had their whole world, their art, changed by hearing a phrase or an idea that triggered their inspiration. Listen for it. Take notes. You're the next generation. Grab the veterans, weigh their advice, take it to heart. Listen to fans. You're winning their favor anyway. Study yours and others' tapes. Older matches are easier to study, in my opinion. It's easier to study 84 Dusty Rhodes than it is to study 2024 Cody Rhodes. I feel time and evolution of the art has actually made things more complex to watch and study. So if you can, go back and just study a little. Lastly, if possible, before and after the show, get out there like the veteran wrestlers, take pics, sign autographs, make new fans, and solidify the old fans. I'm with Cardona. Go make your money. You took the flight, reap the rewards. You don't have merch, you are the merch. Grab a Sharpie, take pics, shake hands, give hugs, listen, talk, engage with those fans who waited for you. They want to get to know you. Suffice your hardcore fans. Ask Effie about this. Send each fan home happy with a story they can brag about online. 3 minutes could gain you an instant fan for a long time. That's my advice.
Yep, that was good. That was
You're like, what do you say? You know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I like sometimes we see more. Like I saw not this time as much, but like last time in LA, we saw like the whole ring was surrounded by wrestlers and selling merch. And this time there's a few out there and stuff. But like I'm always obviously being the big merch, as I said earlier. Like I like to go out and look for like the wrestlers and get their merch and say hi and stuff like that. And sometimes when I don't get to see them, I get they have flights to catch and blah blah blah. Like there's many reasons. Like yeah, sometimes it just sucks as a fan we don't get to see that. But if you have the time and have the energy and you're not hurt or whatnot, I absolutely agree. Go out there, as Cardona said, like that is your time. Like you're gonna make probably more money doing that than you are your booking. That's quoting him. I have no idea what the booking rates are and everything, but it just makes sense. And even if not, you're building that relationship, as you said, long term. For like that's why we're huge. I was a huge Jordan fan when I first saw him wrestle. I thought he had a good future and everything, but it took my wife and kid and family to another level when he just took the time and talked with our son and brought him into the ring and still makes time for us and everything. So yeah, it builds lifelong fans that are going to carry and go with you wherever you go, and they're not just going to stick with you in one promotion. So I agree with all that stuff.
And how long ago was it that happened? About 3 years, roughly? It was when you started
No,
watching GCW, right?
yeah, I think it was May 21 or the summer of 21. It was like at a local like house show, like in Vegas show. Like it was part of like the crazy weekend. I saw Jordan all over the place, but the one I was able to take my son to because I knew it wouldn't be crazy and rowdy and everything. Like that was the show, and he just brought him in there. Like, I'm not saying bring the fans in the ring. Like that was a once in a lifetime ever occurrence. And that's why I always tell my son, you have no idea, dude, how many fans and kids would kill to be in your spot. So you are absolutely lucky to be able to do that. But even like, as we talked with Alec and Jordan, Alec and Nick Wayne at the end of the backyard show, like they're just jumping on a trampoline and just our son coming up and saying hi. They jumped off the trampoline, all gave him hugs and stuff, put him on the trampoline and everything. So you just those little, as you said, little 2-3 minute interactions create lifelong fans. Like I just go to like, as you said, Effie and Bussy, they have the longest lines and they sit there and take time and talk with the fans and give them that moment, as you said, that they're going to take with them that night and stories for the rest of their life. But even Maki Ito, I thought Maki Ito had Maki Ito. Why am I saying Ito? Maki Ito had the longest line, and I think in LA that was gigantic line, and she's the same thing, taking pictures, talking with the fans and everything, and she's just enjoying the moment. And we see like the wrestlers that put in the work to make the connections with the fans, we see it reoccurring at future shows, and the line just get bigger and bigger because other fans now catch on and see like, hey, I can have an experience with this person, and for 2-3 minutes, a little quick meet and greet or buy merch, and go for it. And I do love seeing all that stuff in wrestling, and I would like to see more wrestlers do it, but I now knowing the business a little bit more and flights and everything else, I'm starting to understand why. But if you can, I highly suggest to take that little bit of time to do that.
Well said.
I don't know if we went over the winner, but Mr. Danger did pick up the victory in that scramble.
We went over everything but the fucking winner, didn't
we? Yeah, Mr. Danger pick up the win with that scramble, and I'm glad to see him get a victory in LA. All right, our next match of the evening was a little different tone as Bussy goes against the Stoner brothers, Rick Scott Stoner and Scott Rick Stoner. This was just a perfect comedy match after playing into the how high and everything. And I thought this was good. And Ali killed it in her role. Effie killed it with the trying to avoid everything. And the Stoner Brothers were good. That was the first time I've ever actually seen any sort of Stoner Brothers match. And that was good. I don't know like how really well they could go in the ring for like a good classic match, but for this kind of comedy spot in this show and this day, it was the perfect combination with that crowd. And I know everybody around me just ate every single second of that up. I was dying, rolling with Ali. And I was watching Effie, like just sitting there yelling at Ali, like, Ali, don't do that. Don't fall for that again. And like, oh, you're getting sloppy, Ali. That's not, I just loved watching Effie just right there in my corner, just talking shit to Ali the entire match. And it was a good comedy match, but well played out by every single participant.
Yeah, before I get too far into my notes, I noticed the Stoner Bros, they don't need to be funny. If they wanted to, they can wipe those smiles and just go fucking at it. Like,
and I was happy to see that.
Hell yeah, right? Yeah, okay, so first, in my notes here, I was laughing at the graphics we were just talking about where they're being shown on that UCC background. The curtains are cutting into it, and Emil's shirt is blending in, his hat's blending in. That's so GCW. You know, things like that I treasure. I get the joke. You know, some people may not, but it's fucking funny. You guys all got to laugh together. The Stoner Brothers debut out of Smokeland, California, weighing 420 bricks of hash. They have the big 90s bodies that I love. Just like the Steiners, tag team moves would be their forte. I like their characters. They play the part perfectly. Stoner Bros know themselves extremely well, and it shows in ring and out. It's just how they carry themselves. 20 years of wrestling together can do that to you. 17 tag team championships over 9 different companies, with the longest title reign being 518 days. So that's who showed up, not just some stoner group, but a legit tag team champion. You know, they've been together 20 years. How do you respect the Stoners is what I can say there. Yeah. Bussy, the crowd pleasers have arrived. They came out second. Ali's performance of being the lightweight stoner, from Secondhand Smoke was absolutely hilarious. Effie on the ropes yelling, "She's a lightweight." Her slow motion offense was well done. My wife, again, caught so many pictures of her that were just hilarious. Effie, oh my God, he is in fantastic shape and he looks better and better every week. And he's really upgrading himself. And that kind of brings another good point in here, man. Every time a GCW wrestler has put in extra effort in the weight room, it's always shows. You kind of notice that with Oliver, Nick Gage, once he started to really loosen up and get his stuff together, what a difference.
He looks like a totally different person than what we were covering him and Moxley. Like that.
Way different.
Like that's why I would say last episode, this is the Nick Gage. I'm glad I'm fortunate enough to see him in like looking like his prime now, because I kind of missed out on his prime back in the day. But wow, I as you said, the hard work is definitely paying off, and I'm so glad to see Nick Gage moving around the way he is too.
And then my favorite quote of the match was Dave Prazak: "Allie using finger guns, not considered a legal tag."
Allie killed it. I know Kev said here he got scared on the ending. Allie buckled underneath that giant dude. At first, that's what I thought too. And then even kind of watching it on the Triller TV, it looked like maybe it wasn't planned, but I think it was. And the way it kind of worked itself out, I think it looked a lot better than kind of what I and him kind of originally thought. Because I was like, oh, like Allie just couldn't hold him no longer, and it just fell. Then I was just waiting for it to play into her being high or something, like her just now finally passing out or something like that too. But yeah, luckily she did avoid anything serious, and I think that match delivered and hit the perfect pacing, perfect spot, and was booked absolutely in the perfect spot on the card right after the opening scramble, because that scramble was insane.
Yeah, GCW is really good with that match number 2 thing, so our winners in this one were Bussy in about 11 and a half minutes. So we had a solid dose of Bussy in our match there.
All right. Match number 3. I only got 6 notes for this match. I got 6 hours on this match. Are you kidding me?
Do you want to know why?
No,
do you want to know why I only have so many notes?
Give me the time.
Thank you. I figured this would be the one that you really want to gush over. Getting there one day, maybe year 3 we'll figure it out, but we're getting there.
Match number 3 is Jordan Oliver versus Lio Rush. I surprisingly have a lot more things to say about Lio Rush than Jordan in this match. Lio was intense and so insanely good facial reactions during this match. Seeing it live, I don't know if it's just because I was, like I said, front row again or whatnot, but seeing him like selling, being tired, then all of a sudden snapping awake to do a rebound move to Jordan, everything that Lio did in this match was like, how are people dropping the ball on him? Like, my God, he was so talented, so smooth. It was, and him and Jordan just got extremely great chemistry as well. They are like the perfect team or to go against each other. I enjoyed every single bit of this match. Obviously, this was the one match I was looking forward to, but in my eyes, Lio just was so damn impressive just on his storytelling in the ring. I did almost get what I asked for last time. I said, I hope we get the Blackheart Lio Rush. We got the bad child Lio Rush with a little bit of Blackheart leaking out of him, so to speak, at the end. And I thought the match was incredible. The fans around me at first were kind of like not tuned into this match. Like, who are you? But like 3 minutes in, they're like, oh, I like these guys. Who's that guy? Like, go. And they're like, Jordan, we're rooting for Jordan. Then like they just won the fans over real fast. They had such a high pace a match there. Leo's dive to the outside. I was like, I kind of looked to you when I saw the first dive go to the other side of the ring. I was praying, man. That was like, I love Lio. I did not want that thing coming my way, because that he just is like a bullet train when he flies through there. And like, I remember after he did the first one, this one guy like was losing his shit next to me, like, oh my God, did you see that? And then like the second one, he looked over to his group and like he walked over and he's like, they're 6 rows deep. Please see how far they are. Like, I was like, that's it, 6 rows. It looks like a lot farther than that, but like you could just see the explosiveness from Lio. I think is kind of what helped win over the crowd, but also all the reversals too from Jordan. It was everything I wanted to. wish it could have gone longer. I wish I would have got one thing I would say, like, I thought would have been a way cool moment is when Lio Rush started being up top on that rope and kind of getting sick. I was hoping the lights would dim down, and then that's when he could kind of crawl underneath the ring and then kind of get the blood in its mouth and then kind of be like in the ring holding his stomach and have it come out. I think that would have added and provided so much cool presentation wise on Triller TV and to his character and stuff. But other than that, this match was perfect. I love it. I hope it kind of does set up another future series between these two, because I'm obviously Lio Rush was the first reason I went to my first ever GCW show. So he's got a special place in my heart, especially for GCW whenever I get to see him under this banner. And Jordan, obviously being one of my favorite wrestler. Seeing those two finally in person, I get to see it live, front row. It was incredible. It was good. I just won the ending. I would have changed a little bit, but other than that, it hit everything I wanted to see in that match, and I'm so glad I was able to see it live and in person.
I wrote here that I was really impressed with that excellent hype video that was running down Jordan and Leo's rivalry. Great job there. Was that Ivan's work also?
I want to say so. It was. I agree too. Like I was going to send it to you before. Yeah, I was going to send it to you beforehand. That video was awesome. That was a perfect type video. When I was in line waiting for the tickets, I saw it because I was driving, so I didn't see it. But when I was waiting in line, I was scrolling Twitter and I saw it. And I was like, oh, that was good. That got me even obviously more hyped, which is kind of hard to do. Because this was the one match I really wanted to see all night, and that video was perfectly well made.
Another one of my fun little notes here, Leo's jacket, it's poofy. The last meeting between both men, Leo was Blackheart. He launched into some serious topes mid-match that throttled Oliver into several rows of chairs. Oliver was fresh off his world tour, also looked fantastic. That's when, what you were saying, Leo started getting sick. He starts kind of throwing up black stuff into his mouth and it's running down his lips. While this was going on, Leo was really distracted. Then that's when Jordan kind of did a quick roll up and took the win at the 13-minute mark. Without the illness there, those two could have fought another 5 minutes. I would not have complained at all.
Yeah, obviously same here. I came away walking this match like Leo is a fucking star, dude. Like I don't know, just seeing all those facial reactions and how he like told the story through. I was just really watching him and how he told the story of the match, the struggle. Like even when he hit the oh my god, the first, I think he had a frog splash before, and like he didn't get the 3. You just see the look of like, really, what else do I got to do? And like even before the match, he's like, oh, you motherfucker, I'm gonna get you. Like I just love Leo, man. I'm just so impressed with that performance of him. And man, the Blackheart character has some weight to it. If he can start like teasing it now, like how he is, Jonathan Gresham kind of did the same thing, and I was wondering if maybe they could do like a cool little crossover tag team with it being the like Octopus Inc. is kind of what is coming out of Leo. I don't know. I just am enthralled in this Blackheart character. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, just him with different music and trying to be a scary dude. As you mentioned here, the first match with Jordan, that's kind of what it looked like. But he's now evolving that character into a super, really cool looking, badass character that could have a lot of potential. And I missed seeing him like doing the crawl and stuff, but that's the Blackheart in him. I want to see the Blackheart character a lot more, but I like how they're teasing the transformation of how he's not always Blackheart, but when it's time, the Blackheart comes out and overtakes him. He doesn't get to choose when to use it. I think that's another cool little piece of story and that he's doing with his character, and I'm happy with it. I am extremely happy with it. Boogeyman 2.0, except with a lot more better moveset and relatability. But I can kind of see like the voodoo stuff and all that. But I'm enjoying it.
He starts eating worms. I'm fucking out.
Right.
I'm done.
That was good. That was a very, very good match. Next match is a tag team match as a team of Grim Reaper and Ruckus go against Kerry Morton and Shane Mercer. I know we'll talk about the person, man. Even before like the match started, when Kerry was trying to get in the ring, Perch held open the bottom rope in the middle.
Yeah.
Kerry, I love that. Kerry's like, losing his shit. Shane Mercer's like, come on, man, open the right ropes. And Perch's like, oh, my bad. Perch was an all-star during this match, obviously, as we'll get into later. But one thing I was happy, I think this is my first time other than Hammerstein, but being front row and up close in person, seeing Ruckus, and man, he can still fucking go. Like he's killing it now too. And it's just so cool seeing like the wrestlers I've heard of and I enjoy watching, but I never really got to watch in their quote unquote prime. But now seeing Ruckus move around, like he still seems like he is in his prime and still doing a bunch of crazy shit. So I was happy to see him and Grim Reaper back in the GCW ring as a tag team. But Perch was the all-star of this match.
Yeah, Mercer and Shane come out. Carrie's blowing kisses to a lady ringside. She gives a very unenthusiastic thumbs up in a very mocking manner. He keeps trying. She wasn't buying. Emma was announcing Carrie as not invited to the smoke session. Next out come two wrestlers I've always wanted to see live, Ruckus and Grim Reaper. I feel this was the perfect team to show up for this event. Now, I may be wrong. They're both very close in age and birthday by about a month. Ruckus from Baltimore, Reaper from New York. They're both East Coast tough, both 25 years of experience. I'm going to go on a little tangent here. Are you okay with this, Brand, or did you need to say anything before? All right.
Nope. I said everything I needed to say until Perch.
Okay, good. Reaper was trained by Homicide. He was also the FTW World Heavyweight Champion for 420 days, 20 title reigns, winner of the Chris Candido Memorial J Cup. His first match at GCW was October 22nd, 2016 at the Acid Cup versus B-Boy, Arcadia, and Human Tornado. Reaper was also not very thrilled he can't get menthols in California. That's the truth. Actually, he was really not happy about that. Ruckus has 27 title reigns. His longest title reign was the GWP World Championship for 1,230 days. Ruckus' first match with GCW was at the same Acid Cup. Blackout took on Private Party, the Hit Squad, and the Nation of Intoxication. He also won lightweight. Yeah, right. And he also won a light heavyweight championship in his fourth ever match. So Kerry grabs a mic off of Emil, cuts an anti-marijuana promo. He's getting Southern Heat boos from the crowd. It's perfect to me. Kerry played a non-threatening heel that was trying to be threatening. Kerry yells up. He says, Brett, these two need drug tests. Kerry then had Mercer cover his ears. This was pure entertainment, and it was all about having fun for the fans. All four performers basically just wanted the fans to smile. Mercer was the beef and threw people like they were sacks of potatoes. He was also extremely disruptive. Kerry seemed to be in control with their team, and Mercer was the one who carried out the orders. This made a very scary team because of that. Moonsault and Battery on Reefer got a holy shit chant from the crowd. Kerry then pushes Perch into a corner. Perch flinches. Kerry laughs at him and starts walking away. Perch grabs Kerry, spins him around, throws him in the corner, and starts with the big chops. Kerry was completely stunned. Perch struts to the center of the ring and gives the famous DX suck it. This whole time, Mercer just stood by watching. He was just stunned through this whole thing. Grim Reaper and Ruckus ended up pulling off the win in about 9.5 minutes. After the loss, Kerry threw a childlike fit. To me, his portrayal is like a 12-year-old who hasn't grown up. I actually like it a lot because he's technically a family-friendly heel, which also makes him very universal. He could fit in at TNA. He could fit in at GCW. And I think he walks that line really well. Again, that's probably because of that training and pedigree that he's gotten from all those, Hall of Famers over the years.
Yeah, he got mad. That I don't think I've heard the crowd saying "shut the fuck up" as loud as I did for Kerry. That was insane. Yeah, Perch killed it. I got I kind of sensed it a little bit because throughout the match they were kind of fucking with Perch, and I was kind of like at that point I was actually pulling out my phone right when I saw them kind of fake out Perch, and I was like, I got actually pretty good video of the last few chops and the suck it and the strut. Perch killed it. That was another perfect match after a good, nice, hard-hitting technical matchup like how Jordan Leo was. Nice comedy, not a comedy match. Still, got to see some legends, but have a little comedy at the end. And I'm glad to see the referees kind of get involved with that. I was kind of hoping, I know we saw that one match with Black Label Pro, every time you failed on a count, you had to take a hit off of the vape, and then the referee was getting high and stuff. I was kind of hoping to see some referee involvement throughout the night after seeing what happened during the Stoner Brothers match. And I'm glad that Perch was able to get that moment this time, because how hard he's been working, like I said, and seeing him out front interacting stuff, I think he was a perfect foil for Kerry Morton in that night. And I actually thought at the end too, because I was like right outside, like right next to Mercer when he was like staring down Kerry at the end of the night or in that match. I thought he was going to like turn on Kerry, and I was like, everyone was kind of hoping for it too. But I think Mercer could have a little bit of a pop here, and I kind of hope they start pushing him a little bit more before whatever happens with Blake starts happening, because I could see him kind of having a fun little say in what happens with that title match, and him kind of doing a little, getting like the pop with Batista turning on Triple H. I could see Mercer getting a nice little pop of finally turning on Blake Christian. But I'm glad that at least Mercer's getting involved. He's always around every show, and he has like a sense of purpose at the moment. And I'm glad he was able to get ring time too, because I think the last time I said, like, I don't want him just to be like the muscle on the outside. I want to see him wrestle, and that's when he's like, obviously he's really good. So seeing him in this night was a perfect teammate and opponent for Perch and Ruckus and Grim Reaper.
Well said.
All right. Our next matchup, match number 5, was Jack Cartwheel versus Broski Jimmy. Yeah, this was a good match too. I was hoping some other interference would happen, but I know Steph was busy with Impact and Cardona being injured. I was kind of interested to see how Jimmy Lloyd would do by himself and kind of carry along the Cardona name and everything else in the Broski family. And this match was good. I just think it could have been a little bit more, but I know a lot of different circumstances that kind of hurt Jimmy with that. But Jack and Jimmy had a nice, quick, short match, and I thought it was really good for the time that they were given.
Jack and Jimmy. It sounds like two dudes who just need to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you know? Yeah, so the Broski was out first. He's alone. Cardona injured. STL's on another show that night, just like you said here. Jimmy cuts a very good promo. I want to say it was one of his best. I went up to him after the show and said, hey, dude, that has got to be one of the better promos I heard from you in a long time, and your growth has been fantastic. He was very nice and cool with hearing that news. He wanted to tell everyone he was going to be his best Broski tonight, even though he was without his friends. This was the place where Broski Jimmy debuted originally, was in LA. He's a much stronger Broski now than before. And I have to say the slight adjustments of heel growth over many months have actually been really fun to watch. It's just little by little here and there. I'm still waiting for the haircut and the tan. Those are the two things I'm still waiting on. Cartwheel with that new music sounds great. It has like that sporty feel because we've heard it at games. It's kind of got that ominous feeling. It feels big. I also like the rainbow hoodie that he had there. The Broski character, I feel, has been a blessing for Jimmy. I think it's sharpened Jimmy as a character. Jimmy was always just Jimmy. Now he has a target that he has to hit, and I feel like he's really rising to the occasion. The slow changes were genius because I feel it helps him acclimate to his new character without him getting overwhelmed. I'm just speculating. I don't know. But if the Broski character isn't for development, then I have to say development has been an excellent side effect. I just wanted to mention that. Cartwheel, dazzling as always, had an insane round off reverse Rana. He'd run walls if gravity would allow. Both put on an excellent match, a touch short of 6.5 minutes. The Broski Jimmy ended up pulling off the win, and right after that, I just want to say there was a Nick Gage Broski Jimmy video that was just absolute fire. Again, these videos are just amazing, and they're really adding some fucking spice to the show, and it makes everything seem so much more important.
Yeah, I agree. The videos have been perfectly placed and get good hype for like the next night. That's where I was kind of saying I was kind of hoping Nick Gage would come out and kind of fuck with Jimmy at some point, or Jimmy would kind of taunt Nick and kind of force Nick to come out, as Nick was not booked on this card. And I thought this would be a good little setup for the next night of what would happen. But either way, yeah, it was a good match. Even though I just said it was short, I think it was like good for what it hit everything it needed to hit, and it got Jimmy a little bit momentum going into the next night against Nick Gage. Our sixth match of the evening was for the GCW Extreme title as champion Maki Ito defended it against Sandra Moon. It was nice seeing Sandra in a GCW ring again, but I kind of feel like they just did this match at Lifestyle a couple, well, I guess
Yeah.
not a couple months ago, but a long time, almost a year ago. So I kind of felt weird that they kind of went back to that same match, but I'm not going to complain. And seeing Sandra Moon get a GCW opportunity is always kind of cool, as we were kind of talking about with Bodie, and seeing like some of the Vegas people get these bigger opportunities and get a chance to shine on bigger platforms is always cool to see. And her getting a championship match, don't like that idea, but whatever, it is what it is. And I think these two had a very good match, and Maki's still over as hell without Nick Gage by her side in LA. And once again, Maki had another successful title defense, and she looked really good in the ring against Sandra Moon. I thought this was a good match.
Yeah, and you grabbed my notes on this one too. This was the third match between these two, and oh gosh, I know, right? We were present for number 2 in Las Vegas, just like you were saying, Lifestyle. I think it's partially feeling like it wasn't that long ago because one show in Las Vegas is, so you have to kind of go on your old memory. Now, you're big on Sandra Moon. For me, I put down here another Las Vegas local. She's liked by the Las Vegas fans. I put that she's a touch plain for GCW style, and I don't have a bring her back mindset. Nothing negative. It's just nothing stood out again. Next, here comes Maki. The air just completely went out of the room. It's all hers. The GCW Extreme Champion is an undeniable favorite. The fans were chill, and security didn't have to keep a tight circle on her. She was able to move through the crowd without crowding. Thank you. In a little under 9 minutes, this was another short match. For it being the Extreme title, nothing was extreme. It was about the crowd seeing Maki, and I get it. But the Extreme title, I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what to say. It was the Extreme title match, and nothing extreme went down. I'll leave it flat at that, and anyone can say what they need to say or think what they need to think about it. Yeah, your thoughts?
That was the I was going to wait till the end. Like, that was the one downfall I thought too. It's like for the Extreme title, and nothing was really done there to Extreme. So I hope that doesn't kind of set a tone or how Maki's going to be. I'm actually surprised she even still the champion after this long. Even though it hasn't even been that long, I thought that was just like a cool moment for her to win the belt and then kind of pass it on to somebody else a little bit. But hopefully, if her matches hopefully she can find not a rhythm to the matches, but like kind of a format to how to do an Extreme kind of match, being the Extreme title holder. Hopefully that's something that she's willing to do. And also it's a different step for her and new thing for her. So I'm hoping that kind of happens during her title reign, if she is going to keep it for a period of time here.
Yeah, it's hard to be Extreme, especially when she can't really cut her face. Everything's going to have to be above the hairline. It's going to be really rough. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's not a very good first step, second step forward for the title match to not have a weapon.
Yeah, I agree. That was the one kind of negative I was going to say on that on this match. And oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah. Match number 7, Mance Warner versus Dark Sheik. Seeing Dark Sheik get the love in LA's was always awesome to see. Now with as much as Mance gets into fans' faces, he gets the Tony Deppen treatment for me. He comes out, the hat goes in my hoodie. I had a guy go like, why are you putting your hat there? I'm like, just in case, man. I want my hat to end up 10 rows back and having to go hunt it down, as someone phoned did later on in that match. But yeah, Mance, I do like he's all in his character. I love it. He's doing really good. And like, Dark Sheik was a perfect opponent to get as much heat as he wants and gets, and he got that night from that LA crowd, home of Sheik. I thought that was cool, and the crowd was very firmly behind Sheik. Sheik got a little bit more offense than I expected. I love how she got creative with the little weed spot and the money spots, and I'm glad that Mance Warner was able to turn the tables and get some comeuppance here from somebody from SG or Thrusty, whatever they are called, whenever Sheik's in it. And I thought this match was very good for the story it was telling, and the heat was incredible, but also the pop and the love for Dark Sheik was awesome. And I think the crowd energy really helped. Not that this match needed any help. I think that drew a lot of fans in, and I knew it got me really invested into this match.
All right, so I've got some hellish notes for this one because I saw a lot of things in this match. You ready to roll, man?
Let's go.
All right. All righty. So Man's Coming Out to Cowboys from Hell is a much better entrance song than what he had before. It's aggressive. It gets your heart rate up. Mance comes out and big middle finger in my face and my son's face. So hello to you, buddy. You can't spell menace without Mance, which makes sense. This monster has become a problem for most of the GCW locker room. His persona is so large he can and has disrupted 3 or more matches in one night. His story can suck the air out of the room. I think it's beautiful. I already have my vote for feud of the year, and that's between Effie and Mance. Anyone that wants to try to say better isn't going to get an ear from me. Now, something a little more interesting. Mance worked with Eric Bischoff a little while ago in Australia. GCW fans, when you have the opportunity, check out Eric Bischoff's podcast, 83 Weeks Live, episode 318. Listen from minutes 349 to minute 620. Eric had a ton of amazing things to say about Mance Warner. You can hear him smiling even between his words when he talks about him. He said he had a great time talking with Mance and he was highly impressed. He calls him a very talented, nice guy. He would love to hang out with him again in the future. He believes Mance will be signed. He used the famous words, "It's only a matter of time." Conrad quickly and heartily agreed, adding Mance is a bright spot in the independent talent pool. So I want to go ahead and get that out there too. So if fans want to look that up, by all means, please do it. My side of it, I agree 1,000 times over. He's intelligent, great conversationalist, and there's many things that he does right in front of you that most fans don't notice. He let me a little bit inside his head a little while. Yeah. And let me tell you, everything he does is calculated and well thought out. He's a nice guy. It's somebody I'd share beers and time with. I'm looking forward to the next time we have together. As always with Mance, pay attention. Even though you think it's in your face, he's more subtle than you think. Add Effie and you have a multi-layered feud that will not stop anytime soon. It's very smart. Again, younger talents take notes. Mance has a high inclination to be a real threatening heel. Hearing random fuck yous being yelled from the crowd during the match had more hatred behind it than just fans playing along. Oh, he's a heel. I need to. No. Mance always serves that Southern style heat with 2 full hands. Sheik was then out next to huge cheers. She's the savior of the night that will save the locker room from more havoc. I'm always proud to say Sheik is one of ours. She was first seen on Effie's Big Gay Brunch on October 10th, 2020. So she was first on 10/10/2020. Knowing Sheik, she's going to see that pattern in those numbers. Interesting nonetheless. 19 championships in her career. An absolutely undeniable leader in the trans movement. She's the founder of Oakland's Hood Slam, and what an amazing monster that company has become. I'm sure she's insanely proud, as we are of her. Mance threw fan Wendy's phone into the crowd. Everybody loved it. Her phone was fine. The crowd gave it back, but not before Wendy threw up that middle finger. Then here came the doors and chairs. The violence level cranked up quickly when the staple gun came out. Perch always does a great job in Mance's matches. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but he seems to be the one in there for a lot of these. Mance has a spot where he gets hit with every chair that gets thrown in the ring. I think it's genius. It's unique, and it brings a lighthearted humor to the violence. Double avalanche Russian leg sweeps through the chairs in less than 1 minute. Sheik then puts Mance through a chair and 2 doors. That's when Sheik decides to take her smoke break, then burns a joint on Mance Warner's head. Out comes the dollar bills. Sheik staples a dollar bill, a $5 bill, and a 20 onto Mance. Mance took a $20 to the Bulls. Sheik's turn, and she gets stapled with $1. The rest went in Mance's pockets. This should have been the Extreme title in my head. Maybe Mance should squash and take that shit. Imagine the heat. Then we get Mance versus Team MDK. That's for another time. Mance pulled off the win with a heavy chair shot to the Sheik. 15 minutes well spent in my mind. After the match, Mance takes Perch's belt and beats on Sheik relentlessly. Starts to choke Sheik. Sheik passes out. That's when we get the Effie run in. Their face-off now feels much bigger. And I love it. It just feels good. That's good storytelling. Mance leaves the ring completely outnumbered. Mance is saying forever to Effie. You can see it on the camera. He's going forever. Like, this is going to go on forever. This next round of matches between Mance and Effie, I feel, will be bigger. And I'm in a fight forever stance between those two. Funny thing, earlier today, just announced Effie versus Mance Warner in a last man standing match. Again, wow. So that's what I had to say. That's all my notes on that. Mance Warner technically pulled out the win at a little under 15 minutes. What's your thoughts on this one?
I loved that Mance. That fuck you. He gets like the heat that I think Blake's been trying to get. Like, I think Blake's heat's kind of now everyone's playing along, and like they're just kind of not. It's not go away heat. We all love Blake as the talent that he is, but I think just as the champion, it's kind of they missed a couple times where they could have done some really cool things. I think with that belt, and even though it would have cost Blake the belt, I thought it would have made cool moments, and he could still build himself up and keep himself up in that level. After losing the belt, but Mance is absolutely getting that fuck you. Like, I'm going to fight you with every single fan and all that stuff. I can see that and I hear it, and it is crazy every single time. I think Mance would be like a perfect character like NXT right now. I know they have kind of like their little southern boys out there, but I think Mance could fit that role in just and kill it and crush it. And also I think I agree with Eric Bischoff. He has a spot like in somewhere like Ring of Honor, even like with the Jack Cartwheels and Blake Christians and Tony Deppins that are working Ring of Honor on a consistent basis. I think Mance could fit right in there and be really, really good at Ring of Honor as his character that he has now. But same way, you want to make it the babyface one, he kills it as the fun, lovable Southern drunk bastard that's kicking everyone's ass. I could see him being used both ways tremendously, but I think I definitely agree with Eric Bischoff there. Yeah, I thought this was a good match, and I thought it was like perfect opponent for Mance to keep getting that heat. And Effie and Mance, last man standing now. And I said, and as they're saying in the chat, yeah, same city where they had their first match of the feud. It's kind of interesting how I want to see how the crowd's going to react getting those two again, kind of like what I was a little bit talking about with Maki and Sandra. I don't know, little repetition, if that's going to hurt it. I don't think it will, knowing the two characters and the two wrestlers involved in it, and like the blood feud that's even more now than what it was at the first match. I'm just interested to see how the crowd's going to react to it. And I think it would be really good.
Alan mentioned if Mance goes to ROH, when's he getting used? Okay. If Mance goes to ROH, well, let me put it, I'm trying to think of how to put this. There are cost-cutting measures that are already affecting some talents at ROH. I heard it this weekend from a couple. I don't know if it'll be ROH. And if it is, Tony would be clearing off a small section before they bring him in. So I'm just kind of giving you a heads up right now. It was kind of talked about a little bit. But yeah, Tony kind of mentioned there was going to be some cost cuts, and Tony Khan. And I'm hearing from some wrestlers that part of the thing is they may not get called for a little while. So I'm hoping that this is the problem with independent wrestling and GCW. You know, just when you start to hold on and love someone, if they're worth a shit, they move up. And if they're lucky, they can come down. But most of the time, man, they move up, and it's like, shit, felt like we lost one. It's like watching your kids grow up and leave.
I know he's probably wouldn't be willing to do it at the moment or anywhere probably in the near future, but I think he could do a cool little Stan Hansen kind of character out in Japan and fucking like be the hateable American that's like the Southern guy, like how Stan Hansen was, but with Mance Warner's promo abilities and facial reactions and the heat that he's getting. I think he could do some pretty cool stuff out there too with his character. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, a great one after he won the battle royal. Like we even said, they should have pounced on that right away, and they should have done something with him regarding any sort of belt or any promotion and push. Should have been happening right around that point too. But oh well, they were pushing Blake at that time. the first time.
And great Great one mentioned after he won the Battle Royal on Ric Flair's show. I'll say it
That's
again
what I'm saying.
100 times. I'll go in my grave on this. That's when man should have had a title run at GCW, would have been when he was hot right after that Battle Royal win. He was on top of the independent wrestling world, being the Battle Royal winner amongst this mountain of wrestlers. That would have been to jump on it. That's one of the ones that I always have to mention and talk about. That's one of those ones that kind of burn inside me. I really would have liked to have seen Mance run with something during his hot time there, and I feel that was a missed opportunity.
Yep. Big same thing there. Yeah, great one too was asking or saying like the cup of coffee. Yeah, I just think he didn't like that match with Moxie was different and good, but I don't think it was good as what we expect and what we probably have seen with them. And as could be, I think that's what kind of maybe hurt Mance a little bit. But I do like how they kind of gave him a lot of opportunity and chance, kind of like what they did with Brian Keith. So maybe Mance will be able to have a spot back if he ever decides to return there. All right, match number 8 was Santana Jackson going against Human Tornado. Obviously, we were kind of hyping up Human Tornado last time, and I was happy to be able to see him in person against Santana Jackson. Was a different match than I was expecting from Human Tornado, so that threw me off a little bit, but I think he absolutely established his role in that match, had a good little comedy match while showcases some of his talents against Santana Jackson, and Santana Jackson once again with a new way, new little wrinkle. Every time we see him, I always say like, oh, they're going to get burned out, but he just adds little stuff and new stuff to it. And I think that's what's kind of carrying his character in LA to get the love still after this many appearances. And I'm glad. And once again, I was talking about the referee getting involved. I enjoyed the little dance worm that they did with the Chad Rico during this match as well. And Chad Rico having some fun in the ring.
Well, all right, so let's roll on this one. The Human Tornado wrestled for 21 years as of yesterday. 40 years old, tall guy, 6'3". His first match in GCW, the Acid Cup. First match back in GCW since November 8th, I believe 2018, where he defeated Kikutaro. We all know fan favorite Santana Jackson. Overall, Santana Jackson stuck to what he knew. Tornado pulled off an insane tope onto Jackson below. Santana's just a huge fan favorite. I love watching people watch him for the first time. So thanks for Real Kind Meds for sponsoring that match. And they were kind enough to give us the treat between these two. So I really like the match a lot. Santana Jackson with the win in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. What's your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I liked it. I'll piggyback really quick on Alan. I know I saw that too the day of when I got into town. I still haven't been able to do my own research on that stuff, so that's why I'm not getting involved with that because I haven't read up on it. I just seen like 1 or 2 people kind of make a thing on it, but I like to do more research than that. So that's why we kind of covered the match how we did. I don't know. I don't know any information. I'm just going to cover what I saw, and I will dig into that information.
We're reviewers.
Up on yes, exactly. Yeah.
We're reviewers.
Yeah, that's a better answer there. Yeah, but I don't want to ignore it or say ignore his comment there, but I just give him my reason. We covering him. He was on the channel last time. Like I said, I got that information the day of, so it is what it is. And I thought he had a good performance. So I think it's a return. I don't know when the last time he ever wrestled if he was staying active, but my first time seeing him, I thought it was a pretty good match with Santana Jackson. I thought it was a good opponent for him too in LA. Next match. Holy yeah, I got some stuff here. My God. All right, next match was a fun one as tag team match of Zilla Fatu and his mystery tag team partner going against the Wolf Zaddies. I think I texted you right before that when we kind of had some silence after Fatu came out. I was really hoping the other Fatu would come out and get one little last hurrah on the Indies and get a chance to say goodbye to the Indies and have a little moment. I kind of miss that stuff. Like we don't really get that too much out here. It's kind of like, oh, he's signed and gone. They don't really get
the bittersweet goodbye.
Yeah, we don't get the farewell moment, give them the chance, like show them the appreciation. I thought Jacob would have been this would have been a cool moment of him working with Zilla as one of his last matches in LA, especially being him being a SoCal wrestler, big time on the indie scene. that's who I was really hoping for, obviously, as a one little last gift from WWE. But I was very happy and intrigued, and I think it was actually the perfect tag partner for what happened during this match with Zilla. And I just am going to praise Zilla to the moon during this match after you're done with your stuff, because man, he was impressive.
Oh, hell yeah. Alan, next week is what's supposed to be we'll see what happens from there. Yeah, Zilla Fatu out by himself. He's supposed to have a mystery partner. The Wolf Daddies are solid competitors, good power, solid chemistry. We have seen them a couple times in Las Vegas before. So this is someone that is not new to locals there. No lie, ballsy to roll out a wrestler in his 8th match only. Of
Was
those
it? I
8,
heard
6 were in GCW.
Zilla's had 6 matches in GCW.
Yeah.
Holy
Let me
shit!
go. I mean,
I think like
let
3
me-
or 4 I could rattle off the top of my head, but I don't know any. Like I heard that was like his 10th match total, and I found this out afterwards. Like when I came back and watched it on the live, I think I saw someone mention like that was his 10th match or whatever. But holy shit, are you kidding? Like, and I
8
agree with you.
matches.
Like
8 matches. Okay, so here we go. His first one was at ROW. Another one was TSW. So that's the 2. Now here comes the 6. Jacob Fatu and Zilla Fatu versus the main event at Look at Me. Jacob and Zilla versus Los Macisos at Touch the Sky. Jacob and Zilla versus Bang and Matthews at Role Model. Those 2 again versus Gringo and Oni El Bendito at the Block is Hot 2024. Then there's the Punjabi prison match at Spring Break Clusterfuck. And then the last one was this recent one at How High. Isn't that incredible?
After
the things we learned.
Him, holy shit, dude. That dude is it. He has it. I think this performance was the one that's gonna, like, that was kind of like his indoctrination to like just GCW, like obviously because of the blood, but I think like this was one where he faced adversity and fucking just took it and ran with it and made it up his game, up his level. And holy, like I am so fucking impressed with Zilla this match. I am going to follow his career to wherever it goes. That was insane, this match.
Yeah, so Alan also said here that there's a chance they may not have something registered here. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He was saying about ROW, the Reality of Wrestling. I think he was mentioning.
That's
Let's see here.
T's company out there in Texas.
Yeah, it shows one that he had with Johnny Lyons at Summer of Champions 9. That doesn't mean that's the only one, but that's the one that Cage Match had basically logged in on. So I'm not 100% there, sure, but this won't be the first time that Cage Match had somehow, like missed a match here and there. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Zilla Fatu and his lineage. His dad, Umaga. Rikishi, his uncle. Tonga Kid, uncle. Alpha and Sika, great uncles. Alpha Jr., Rosie, Samu, The Rock, and Yokozuna, first cousins, all removed. Nick Gage comes to the aid of Zilla. Fans go nuts. Gage clears house. Finally, the match settles in. Zaddies have the advantage with that cohesion that Zilla and Gage just haven't had time to establish. GoPro, nice zoom out on the hard cam when everybody's throwing up their fingers. I have to start watching closer, but is Adam Galt the referee for all of Gage's matches? Kind of wondering. Doors come out. Violence goes up. Bad Dude Tito's tope is absolutely dangerous. He is a massive guy. Everyone in the match did more than their part. They covered Zilla nicely and still delivered. Awesome Bliss versus FE hype video for the Albuquerque match. Ignore that. I'll go to the ending. Our winners here was Nick Gage and Zilla Fatu in just a touch under 15 minutes over the Wolf Zaddies. I still say that video package was awesome, but yeah, 15-minute match, dude. This ended up being really good.
Yeah, Zilla balled out. I forgot to mention when you said ballsy putting him in his 8th match. I think it's ballsy enough to put him in a match that early against the team of the Wolf Zaddies. As with Bad Dude Tito being one trigger away from going crazy. I love him though. He has improved so fucking much. He was a really good start in this match, and Shea Cabrera as well. But man, Zilla took a beating on that tope when he cut himself. Like he could have melded in there, but I think also Nick Gage being his tag partner to get the fans behind Zilla that much and kind of help him get the momentum and carry him through. I've never I was impressed with that match, like holy shit, just on Zilla, but I didn't know when I found out his 10th match. I have all the respect for him in the world because to go out there and kill it in GCW on that big 420 sold out show against the Wolves Daddies, New Japan talent there with Bag Tito, but Nick Gage as your partner, like that was one of those, like, you know, like when we see like when Becky Lynch got her nose broken, like, oh, that's her fucking come out moment or showing a badass, or like when Effie got his ass kicked by Nick Gage, Sheik got her ass kicked by Nick Gage. We've seen all these people get their ass kicked by Nick Gage, and like that's kind of like their moment that they show that they've not earned it, but like have gone through the war and the fire. This was Zilla, but at such a young age too. Like I loved him flying out of the ring. He was like, you could tell like he was enjoying the crowd too. When he stood up, I was like, yeah, like that was him. Like, hey, holy shit, this is what I want to do. And like I cannot say enough about Zilla, man. I literally I would say, I texted you and I tweeted, I was like, Zillow for TOS after getting that cut. But now after seeing 10 matches, no, we ain't gonna do TOS after that 10 matches. But just seeing him bloody like that, and now like the blood just energized him, like how it did with Cole. That's what I kind of had flashbacks to that of like, oh shit, we're not used to seeing Cole being bloodied up like that, and just him embracing it and everything, and Zilla just embracing everything. Wow, I now Zilla could fill in for Jacob Fatu's spot anywhere in GCW, and I want to see it because Zilla was super, super impressive. And like I said, Gage was a perfect tag partner to kind of get the crowd to rally behind him in the way that they did, I think, that night.
Yeah, and then you match the fact that he's got like the teeth thing going on there. He's got a good look to him. His skin is clear. I mean, he's going to be WWE ready. It's just a matter of when. I'm surprised they haven't thrown him in the developmental system at NXT and just went with it. So we'll see what happens there, but he appears way more ready than anybody else on their 10th match. That's 100% for sure. So the way they've hit it is wonderful. You know, like give him some more splashes. Anyone can do a splash, you know, things like that really. But I don't see an 8-match thing there. I see a person who's been on it at least for a couple years. So take it where you can get it, buddy. That's fortunate.
Yeah, he was like, that was a star make, and for me that was a star making performance. I was glad to witness it live and in person, front row, man. That was insane. All right. Oof, I'm getting hot and sweaty over here just talking about all this stuff. Last
get that air conditioning on.
Oh, I need it. Yeah, I need something over here. Main event for GCW's How High, which I think was perfectly booked. Too Cold Scorpio against Joey Janela. Too Cold, same as I can say with Ruckus. Like, I hate when people say you still got it to Too Cold, because he's never lost it, man. I've not seen him lose any step at all as he's aged and progressed, and that's wrestling from all these other different promotions I've seen him still wrestle with. Man, he looked incredible this night. He had fun. Joey Janela was a perfect opponent for him again, and I think you can see the fun and like the facial expressions from Too Cold this night like made this match for me, because seeing his eyes get giant and big whenever Joey tried doing some stupid shit with him. I loved it. I'm glad they got the main event, because just to give Too Cold his little flowers too, because this was a great way to end the night.
I'm going to just say it before I get a chance here. It's in my head. I played football for a small amount of time, and I went up against some Samoans a couple of times. And let me tell you, they have an incredible low center of gravity. I know that sounds like, here's what it means. If you have someone that you're picking up over your head, the one thing that you want to have for sure is good legs. Everything has to be in place. Boom, boom, boom. And let me tell you, for some reason, Samoans and Tongans, man, they are like tethered to the ground. And it's awesome, because in football, I mean, one dude, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm just telling you, I'm sorry, boss. I'm like, what's going on? 2-3 plays later, he landed me on my ass every single play. And I'm like, God damn, you're good. I forget where he ended up playing later. He was at a university, but it's just like, I couldn't moving. Center of gravity was just incredible with him. And yeah, it's just I don't know, they're thicker than other people somehow, and just it's freaking impressive from my point of view. All right, so Janela was out first. It seems fitting. Scorpio is the senior act between the two. Fans love them some Janela. That was very obvious. They understand how important he is to GCW, and thus the fans. I feel he's a cornerstone. No Janela would take a lot of breath out of GCW. So let's catch up on Scorpio. Just as, here we go. A couple notes. 58 years old, almost 40 years in ring. One of Scorpio's trainers is Hiroshi Hase, trained by Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba. And another, Kensuke Sasaki, he was trained by Masa Saito. Round out his Japanese training there. His third trainer was Mike Starr, best known for his brief stints in the WWF in 91, 93, and 96. He also wrestled a lot for Canada in the NWA. Some impressive numbers. Scorpio wrestled 175 matches in 1993 and 152 in 1997. He's an 18-time champion spanning over 10 companies. His longest title reign was the GWF Heavyweight Champion, 877 days, which he won in a tournament. Some more notable wins. He was a WCW World Tag Team Champion, a 4-time ECW World TV Champ, and the ECW Tag Team Champion with the Sandman. This match also goes 17 minutes. I felt was a fair main event. It was placed properly on the card. I felt like I was watching some of the best Scorpio wrestling that I could see. I feel this is a must watch for Too Cold Scorpio fans in 2024. It was a tit for tat back and forth, a lot of smart wrestling, more of an old school match to meet Scorpio's style. Fans were paying attention to every strike like wrestling used to be. It felt like I was watching an old Scorpio match, and it just felt good. Chairs and doors came out. A door bridge was built. Scorpio moonsaulted onto Joey through the door bridge for the win. Scorpio pulled off the win at 16 minutes and 46 seconds. I personally can't express how thankful I am to be in the front row for Scorpio. Fans end the show by beating on the canvas with their hands and just chanting GC dub, GC dub as we go to black. Los Angeles never disappoints, and that was our show of GCW's How High. I was, like I said, beyond what I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah. I had the time of my life. Like I said, outside of Collective, I put that up there as one of the best single shows I've been to, just because the crowd, the action, everything was perfect. Like, it was such a good show. Well, I was very, very happy with it. And I'm kind of happy and thankful too to be able to see Too Cold Scorpio in the front, sit in front row. I was a giant Flash Funk fan back in the day, and then seeing him wrestle on ECW and everything else, finding out they had a career outside of WCW and WWE was kind of nice to see. And I fell in love with him. I loved all his unique high flying spots, and seeing him, just like seeing Ruckus for the first time live in a person front row, was awesome to see. And I was glad I was able to see it.
Yeah, one of ECW's finest, and it's just beautiful that he's still out there working and doing his thing. All right, so what do you think here? Do you think I should go over a couple little interesting stats that are out there?
Yeah, because I see it. I see you looking where it's from. I want to hear about it.
So every month I get the PWI magazine that comes out, and every month they hold top 5 rankings for every company. So I like to always pull GCW's numbers, and I like to pull the numbers for the independent wrestling scene as a whole. So I find these numbers interesting, but here's what we have. We have number 5 for GCW, John Wayne Murdoch. Moving up from there, number 4, Mance Warner. Number 3, Masha Slamovich. Number 2, Joey Janela. Number 1, Rina Yamashita. Very interesting picks there. We'll go over to the independent side for a second. Number 5, Adam Priest. Number 4, Alec Price. Number 3, Matt Tremont. Number 2, Marcus Mathers. Number 1, Warhorse. Interestingly enough, that's very interesting. I don't know. I just wanted to put it out there. That's from people who really know GCW. I find it a very interesting list because there's a couple names I think I'd take off and a couple names I'd put on. I don't want to debate it too much because we didn't have a chance to really look at it for too long a time. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to share. That's what PWI thinks.
Sorry, Alan. I couldn't hold my disgust there seeing the Warhorse at number 1. That was like stunning to me. The GCW, I don't mind. I replaced Murdoch with like an Effie. And probably Rena, because she hasn't really been seen too much this year, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels
Yeah.
like I would have replaced her with someone like an Alec Price, a Cole Radrick, even, and
Someone who's hotter right now.
yeah, someone like we've seen a little bit more often than we just saw those two. Like nothing on those two. Like though I love those two, and yes, if that was a list like rating them off like last year, even I could see that. But early on this year, we haven't seen too much of Rena, too much of John Wayne Murdoch. So that was the only two I disagree with. But other than that, I don't mind it. But the Warhorse one, fucking, that's what killed me there. I don't know. Maybe I'm not watching enough of what's going on out there, but from what I've seen, like, why is he?
He's going through a character change right now. I know that's part of it, but he went from 80s rocker guy to 80s rocker guy that wears a leather jacket
and bitches about everything.
So we'll see. Great one. Yes, that list was prior to Mania weekend. It was, I think, the weekend before. Just given the circumstances of the show, I'm just now getting to it kind of thing. So, yeah, that was a good question. That's something I probably should have said was when that was posted. Now, some recent numbers. I just want to kind of go through this real quick. Can you see what's on my screen on my notes right now? Damn. Yep. I was going to have you pick. Okay, so our top, I'm going to go through basically who's attended the most shows this year by wrestler. So with 17 shows, tied for number one is Cole Radrick and Joey Janela with 17. Then we have Alec Price and Ali Catch at 16 shows so far this year they've made. Blake Christian comes in at number 5 with 15. Effie and Masha Slamovich with 14 shows so far this year. And Ciclope, Dark Chic, it says Los Macizos on here, all with 13. Broski Jimmy with 12 and Gringo Loco with 12. So that's who we've had so far. Cole Radrick, Janela, Price, Catch, Christian, and Effie really putting in the work this year so far. So had to just share that little piece of news since I had the opportunity. That's where I sit. I just wanted to kind of put a little break in there between shows, just a little something, an appetizer, an hors d'oeuvre.
To get me mad by bringing up Warhorse on top one. I don't know. Get out of here.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. We are now going to cover GCW's debut in Albuquerque from the Dirty Bourbon in Albuquerque, New Mexico. GCW's Breaking GCW. I know you get your, oh shit, my bad. I know you got your first notes. So I'll let you go to the notes.
No, you're good. Okay, yeah, the Dirty Bourbon. This is GCW's Albuquerque debut. The show opens with a Breaking Bad style video package. This event is taking place at the filming location for Better Call Saul. That's the spinoff for Breaking Bad. We are definitely in mullet country. I saw a couple. Let's talk about that new venue, the Dirty Bourbon. It opened in 2011. It's considered a dance hall and saloon. The ring was placed on the 1,300 square foot dance floor. I won't make a blood on the dance floor joke. The ring isn't raised to its normal height. It's a touch lower by about 2 feet, I'm guessing. According to the website, they also have 2 pool tables and a shuffleboard table to, quote, tickle your fancy. It seems like my kind of place. I would love to go to a place and get tickled. My take, it has that Southwest vibe. Don't you laugh too hard. Fun country atmosphere, old looking wooden walls, and a bunch of American nostalgia help give it that rustic vibe. The ceiling is somewhat more like a warehouse, which is expected given its setup for concerts. Floors are standard, dance floor is wooden. It feels good seeing GCW in a bar again, even if just for a night. I miss this style of presentation in small doses. It has its place. Maybe this venue is one of them. This would be the spot where you could get a camera in the ring for the opening of the show and slowly pan around and give us a bird's eye view of the place. It's about giving the fans at home a better mental picture of the venue for the night and everyone in the crowd getting their face on camera. But to me, I feel like it's a cool place. Just show me the rest. Some venues may not be spin worthy in the ring, which I understand, but new venues can always be cool to see one time. The crowd showed up here. They were really loud. One fan was in a hazmat suit with blue gloves, Heisenberg style. Another had a sign that read, "Don't read this sign." A very colorful crowd, and they came off like Phoenix, very thankful. So that's the way I kind of look at it as. Back over to you, Brent.
I think they could have done a little bit. I don't know the whole show anyway, but like I must have missed the guy dressed like in the hazmat suit and stuff. I guess I totally missed that one. But I was kind of hoping to have a little bit more, kind of like how since the day before it was a 420 kind of theme show, a little bit more Breaking Bad, other than what we saw. I loved the opening video. I loved like the little VCR kind of things with it. I enjoyed the presentation of it before, and when we looked at it, kind of reminded me of the Wyoming venue when they wrestled in Wyoming that one time, and like the bar, and it kind of reminded me of that area. But I too wanted to see a little bit more of the venue, seeing a little bit more Breaking Bad kind of influence on it. But for what it was, I enjoyed it. And I kind of got the fans as you did. Some of them are a little disrespectful from what I was kind of hearing, but other than that, the energy was really good. And as you said, I thought that was good words. Thankful to have a show in Albuquerque, because I think that's what happened with Phoenix. They were just thankful to finally get the GCW show, and they didn't want to leave a bad impression because they wanted them to come back. And Albuquerque did the same, just as Phoenix, and I very much enjoyed.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to bring it up, but you kind of mentioned it for a minute. Yeah, there was one fan. He was an older guy. He told one of the ladies, put him in the camel clutch. And he's an older guy. He probably went to shows since who knows how long. I don't even think when Billy came over that he understood that what he said was, kind of.
Well, he didn't say camel clutch.
Oh, he said something else then. I heard somebody say, put her in the camel clutch.
Camel,
and she was like, what?
Change the clutch to another word.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. So basically he was just being, when things like this happen, especially at his age, I always try to default to just stupidity,
Yeah.
And I say that because I've worked with people for a long time. And when something happens, it's probably best to chalk it up to stupidity first before you think it's something to be said. The guy thinks he was being funny is what I got. And when she went over there, he still didn't get the hint that it was not right to say. He was still kind of going with the thought. So he didn't know better. Does that make him wrong still? I would say, yeah, if a female is really unhappy with it. So I'm happy it was semi-handled, but if this was in a venue like the Terminal, he probably would have been chewed alive. So
yeah. I liked how Billy handled it though. Like Billy stood up for herself, didn't like it, went out there. Like I like that, because that showed like a big maturity moment for her. And hey, I'm big enough name value. I want to stand up for myself. I got some credence here, and I loved seeing her do that and standing up for Sheik and herself during that match. I thought that was a really cool moment just for her to kind of just growing as a person. Just hey, you ain't gonna say that shit around here, and I'm glad that she didn't wait for somebody else to sit there and take care of it. She handled it herself, and I was impressed with that. I enjoyed it. All right, our first matchup of the evening was Jack Cartwheel versus JKM. I've never, a lot of these wrestlers I didn't see ever before or heard of ever, JKM being one of them, and I am a fan of his. I do want to see a lot more of JKM, and I think seeing the style that JKM wrestled going against Jack Cartwheel was a perfect matchup for both of them, and once again, now Jack's kind of taken over. Instead of him being the young lion in all these matches, he's now kind of taken over some leadership roles in some of these matches. And I was kind of glad to see these two go at it as now learning more about JKM. And I like JKM. He's one of the ones I want to see come back and see a lot more of.
I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to Alan. Good night, brother. He's one of our favorites. Dude is so
I said it 7 times in the chat.
And then Kev, I had a chance. Yeah, there's so many wonderful people we always have in here. Again, I'm just going to mention before we get into the notes, since we covered so much on a lot of the wrestlers that are also in this show, you're going to see that the review is a little bit quicker, always on the second show. So yeah, Jack Cartwheel versus JKM. Jack was out first. They love him a lot. JKM, I noticed, has a lot of local support from the Albuquerque fans. He is a local wrestler. These two are an excellent match in my book. The speed, agility, and youth of both were fully on display. Perfect for an opening match. A solid physical bit of storytelling between both of them. Fans are popping hard for most everything. A few fans were super enthusiastic, and it pushed the rest of the fans to be just as enthusiastic. Each fan matters. This is a good point to make here. I heard dueling chants. It came across sounding absolutely great. someone was getting cheered over Superface Cartwheel was absolutely surprising. Like JKM was really getting that. I will say, especially as someone who hasn't been around too long, JKM was impressive, and he is one addition to this show that I would like to see again. A win was pulled out by Jack Cartwheel at a little over 11 minutes. What's your thoughts on this one, Brent?
Yep, I know we kind of had said a lot of similar things. I'm just saying I wouldn't mind seeing JKM kind of being rolled into the West Coast scene if they're able to use him a little bit more whenever they go to LA or Phoenix coming up. Even or they got like Denver coming up here soon. I saw too. Like that's another crazy weekend. We'll talk about another time. They got like 3 shows back to back to back. Like like I don't think they've done a 3-city tour in a while. Like in 3 consecutive
Gonna be
days.
busy.
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I do want to see JKM back, and hopefully gets another high flyer like Cartwheel and see some more impressive stuff. I want to see more of them. Next matchup, Jordan Oliver against Gino Rivera. Once again, I'd never heard of Gino Rivera, but left with a very good impression. I loved how he's able to get the heel heat as a kind of like the locals are kind of a little hard like when they show up on GCW. All the fans but that just shows kind of he has like the little Mance Warner in him, the character. Like he's got the crowd against him, and he was very impressive against Jordan. Once again, I wouldn't mind seeing Gino Rivera come out. I almost slipped and said Gino Medina. I kind of got those two a little mixed up and confused a couple episodes ago. But yeah, I see a lot of impressive stuff from Gino Rivera. I know your notes. I didn't know he's that deep into the game, but he showed a lot of like experience. He showed a lot of experience that kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, so he like I didn't expect that much what you're about to go over, but he showed he deserved to be in the ring with Jordan, and I was happy to see that. Another good Jordan match. Real fast, all these little wins. I wouldn't mind seeing Jordan kind of being thrown in that title match against Blake here soon, since he just kind of lost to JCW, came back, is on a nice little roll. I wouldn't mind seeing Jordan be the one to take out the belt off Blake, or a little bit more deserving than Danhausen. So I'm a little scared there with that Danhausen match.
Yeah, his story right now should be I've traveled the world. I came back with a whole new toolbox of things. Oh, and I got a chip on my shoulder. And
yeah, there's a story there.
Yeah, then just strap the rocket to his ass and see where he goes from there. Yeah, you know how we do it over here at Game Changer Weekly. I've got a little piece of information or 10 to kind of get you caught up on some of these newer people that do come over to GCW. So yeah, Jordan Oliver versus Gino Rivera. Gino Rivera, 35 years old, a 16-year veteran. He's considered the Puerto Rican pit bull. Gino runs Off the Ropes Wrestling School, training tons of wrestlers across the Southwest United States. He originally trained himself at Santino Bros Wrestling School. This is his GCW debut. He's a 6-time champion and the current AIWF World Cruiserweight Champion, 710 days and running. He was a CCW champion for 540 days. He averages 357 days per title reign. Of course, the fans are going to say the one thing they should say about Gino. Gino sucks. I feel, again, this is another good pairing in this match between Oliver and Gino. Gino's smaller, giving the contest a touch of dynamic between the bigger guy and the smaller guy. Even against the odds, the people were cheering against the underdog. That's fantastic work by Gino. Again, I mean, some people just naturally have it. He naturally has it and knows how to work it. And those are things that are hard to teach. But luckily, he has a school out there, and JKM and several others were from this school. So that's where we kind of know some of them from.
I'm like, I know we got impressed with the Atlanta crew when we saw them at first. We get impressed with the New South crew. Like I'm impressed even after those couple matches. I'm impressed with what they're doing out there in Albuquerque, and I wouldn't mind seeing their crop of young talent or whatever they got out there to show up a little bit more on GCW, because they showed out there. And JKM and Gino Rivera, Gino Rivera. First 2 good names to set that area's local independent scene. Give it a good name. Match? Question mark number 3 is Mance Warner versus Colt with one Mr. Rogers. I will let you kind of carry this one a little bit, because I was a little confused and kind of, I don't know.
All right. So, yeah, the new person here will be Colt. He came out with Mr. Rogers, which was just a puppet on his hand. He was filling in for an injured Stackhouse again a uh, as a friend of the show and as someone who we've had a chance to talk to on a personal level. We're wishing Stackhouse a quick healing, man. Get back as quick as
Yes.
possible. We missed you, and we're looking forward to see you here very soon. I will mention one thing nice, all right? Because like I said, some people just, it needs to be said, and a lot of people move quietly and it never gets seen. When something happened to my mom that same day, Sam Stackhouse got a hold of me and had some wonderful, nice things to say. And he was right fucking there at the time when I needed it. And heal up soon, brother. We really love you out here. I see Colt with Mr. Rogers, and I just want Mance to beat the fuck out of him. It's a local fun character. Mance is there to spoil the fun, so let's just get to it, was my notes. Mance took the sign guy's sign, threw it on the ground, and busted it into pieces. This match was basically a tale of complete opposites. Mance cuts a promo on New Mexico meth, and it ends up starting a meth chant. He literally said he didn't expect that. Mance was whooping Cole's ass while talking into a mic. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. This was a squash match with personality. That's, I think, the best way to put this one. And if more squash matches went this way, I would find it much more entertaining. Mance still ended up pulling off the win, quote unquote, in less than 3 minutes. As Mance is leaving, someone repaired that sign that he broke. Mance goes ahead and grabs it and busts that fucker again. So, you know what? I love the touch of personality and fun that Mance puts into that. Come on, man. How are you going to hate that personality? So, yeah, that's what I have to say about Colt and Mr. Rogers. What the fuck was that?
I think
it was fun. It was like, I thought I fucking hit my head and accidentally smoked crack and sauce. I don't know, man. That was crazy. I love it, but it was crazy.
I like the risk, taking the risk and trying to do something different. I do like it. I think it kind of was. As you said, this was a squash match with personality. That was a great way to put it. And I can't follow up anything off you said. That was really good. I missed Mance though, going back and breaking the sign the second time. That part I didn't miss. I want to go back and check that out to see the person's reaction. But that was you hit every nail right on the head there, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know the whiteboard, right? Like a whiteboard, and it has that border
frame.
He fucking threw it, and the border just went boom everywhere. So they picked up just the paper part of the, just the cardboard part that you draw on. He grabbed a hold of that shit and threw it on the ground. It was so funny. Great job by Mance in that match.
Yeah. Next match is Billy Starks versus Dark Sheik. Outside of everything that kind of we talked about earlier for the match, I thought these two put on a very good match, and seeing Billy in different attire and different attitude, I enjoyed it. I like seeing the Billy / Bully Starks. Sheik definitely hung in there with Billy, and I thought these two had like really good chemistry, and I enjoyed this match. I didn't think it would get as much time as it did and deliver as well as it did. And yeah, I definitely left this match like, oh, I was wrong on this one, and it was a very, very good match.
Yeah, there's a lot that was going on here. An interesting opening, like you said. Man said something to Billy that was just it kind of threw off just for a second, but luckily the match hadn't started, so you know what I mean. It didn't throw off any flow. Sheik and Billy, I say this again, they've done it a couple times before. They work really well together. I always say it's a bonus to see Billy back in GCW. I will mention that every time because, again, it's like if we could just see Nick Wayne slip down this much. I say this about Nick Wayne every time we see him too. We're lucky. Billy caught Sheik's kiss and stomped on it. I knew this was going to be an interesting little match. This was just that kind of match. Halfway through, they got down to wrestling, and that was what I was really into. Sheik's coast to coast was absolutely impressive. I love seeing that come out. Billy Stark still ended up pulling out the win in this one in a little over 13 minutes. The Mother Brain just had such a nasty night in LA beforehand that, I mean, I don't know how these wrestlers do it, especially when they get into the 30s and whatnot. But I don't know how Prazak does it. He's around my age and he don't even wrestle. It's just, how does he keep up with the schedule between him and Lauderdale? I'm like, what in the hell are you guys doing just to keep up? Man, I'm falling asleep half the time. Yeah, I was going to say it's a lot of Starbucks and a lot of just personal energy. Just go, 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 go. Some have it and others don't. So lucky them.
No, Biz. Billy was not dressed up as Spike Dudley. Actually, when I saw Billy's attire, I was expecting maybe this going to be the first match that kind of gets a little extreme and goes a little bit wild, just because of how I saw Billy's dress. It kind of seemed like that was maybe what it was leading to, but no, Billy did not dress up as Spike Dudley. All right, a lot of Spike Dudley talk on this episode. We brought his name up quite a few times.
Hey, Mr. Danger, man, it gives me Spike Dudley feeling. I don't know.
All right, match number 5. I think this was a match suited for you with the Hosses, as we had the one called Manders going against Ocean Avery. Same thing, never seen Ocean Avery before. I really liked his look. Manders, once again, being a perfect opponent. I love when, like, especially when a name we haven't seen before gets matched up with somebody that's accordingly and just like very similar to what we're going to get, and in a leadership role to kind of carry the match. And this was, again, like, I don't know these guys, but they were put in a very good first match to kind of expose them to the GCW audience, to placed in a good spot to excel. Like, they were put in a position to succeed. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And with that position, I think everyone succeeded, and Ocean Avery with Manders definitely did on this one. And same thing, I liked how there was a hard-hitting match, and it shined a good light on Ocean Avery. And once again, throw him into those trio. Let the Albuquerque trio go against New South one day. I'm all down for that.
All right, so you read my mind completely, and I think it's beautiful when both of us can come to this same conclusion, because there are a couple of conclusions there that if you don't have the discerning mind, you wouldn't have seen it. I put here that Ocean has good size, similar to Manders. Veda said Ocean has a Walter White kind of look. It was more comical than anything. A nasty opening chop fest between the two. Then they started running into each other like two bulls. There's an interesting red glow on the wrestlers. It makes them look like they're under a heat lamp in the, the front side of the front part of the wrestling ring there. I would say here, both work really well together. Would watch them both go again. The match was extremely hard hitting. If with the right clothing, I would actually put these two as a tag team. Manders here, I would say, especially from a singles perspective, is leveling up. I hope people are hearing the support Manders is getting during his single run in the crowd. I say it myself. I've watched for years. Don't underestimate that man. He's growing into his character. He's a solid performer. He's strong as hell. He has the capabilities to do quite a few things that you will find. What's a good way to put this? Just go watch him. For crying out loud, go watch him. He has a good set of skills there. He is young and he's just going to keep improving. I really do see him, when utilized by someone properly, being a champion and being a strong champion.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping at some point during this kerfuffle that Effie and Vance Warner are having, I wanted to see the team of not Vance. Before this Blake match, I would like to see, like, even like as a tease, a little buildup would have been Effie and Manders going against Blake and Mercer, because Effie and Blake could set up this match, and then Mercer and Manders could still go at it and have a Haas segment. And I think those two, I'm glad they're not being left out of each of their stories. They're still being involved with it. And as let me see, I think it was Alan said earlier, they want to see there we go. Yeah, Manders wants to be the special guest referee for this Last Man Standing. I'm all for it. I wouldn't mind seeing it happen. I know Manders probably a little bit biased after all this, but him kind of being, I don't want him to get left up to the side with Effie and this SGC stuff. And I want to see him more as a singles competitor on his own, and seeing this match is a good start to it. And I hope it kind of continues, because I love Manders too. And I think he's got some big things in his future as well. Next match of the evening, Fuego del Sol going against Joey Janela. I'm just happy Fuego got this kind of match, kind of a spotlight match. He was able to shine as a singles competitor. I know he tweeted out how big of a match this was for him to kind of show people of what we've been missing out on during his time in AEW. And I agreed with every single word he said in that tweet. And he delivered during this match. And once again, Joey just makes everybody look good. And this was one of the best Fuego matches I've seen singles. And I want to see more of him in GCW. GCW is going to have to start running these AEW pay-per-view kind of cards, running 4 or 5 hours and getting like 20 matches going, because all these talent I want to start seeing now. But Fuego versus Joey killed it. And I'm glad Fuego was able to get that spotlight match to showcase what fans have been missing.
Yeah, GCW's been fortunate to be able to just comb over the world and just handpick here and there who they'd like to have. It's really made for better cards overall. Yeah, Joey was fresh off that main event less than 20 hours beforehand in LA. We've seen Fuego more in GCW recently, and I like it. He's grown physically and in ring. He also got the first holy shit chant of the night. Fuego's at a level where I know he's not going to put on a bad match now. And I feel that all that AEW work did him good. Joey took a nasty shot with knees into his shoulder from Fuego at one point, and it seemed like it affected him for the rest of the match. It was a very hard-hitting match early. Joey ended up winning here with a little over 15 minutes. My last note here just says, once we can, I want to get Stackhouse and on... blah, blah, blah. Can I talk? You can tell it's getting late. I want to have Stackhouse and Fuego on here together as friends. I just think they'll be fantastic together. And once Sam's feeling good and he's starting to get himself back and rolling here, I think it'd be cool to get them both in and just talk, just us as friends, them as friends, just kind of chill and have a good time together.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that ending sequence too that they did to kind of get into that package pile driver. It was pretty cool. It was teased. Fuego got out of it, got countered, and Joey got back into. I really enjoyed that sequence. It was like you could have just played that on replay for me, and I think that just showed how good Fuego is and how good Joey is too. Our next matchup, we finally get some hardcoreness, as it is a hardcore match with Broski Jimmy Lloyd against the King Nick fucking Gage. I wish this wasn't a hardcore match. I wanted a little bit more violence. Just based off the history, I've always said I think Jimmy and Nick could have had a really good one. But for not using glass and having an ultra violent match, this hardcore / extreme match was really, really good. Good for Jimmy to kind of showcase, kind of get out of that broskisness a little bit and get a little bit more ultra violent, how I prefer to see him in. And we kind of talk about the titles and stuff. I put the belt on, put the extreme belt on Broski Jimmy right now. Let him be 2 belts Jimmy, holding the Prince Ultraviolet Prince title, and give him the extreme title. I want to see Broski with the extreme title going.
Well, I'm not against it because Joey could carry it. Or I mean, yeah, I won't get too far into that. All right. Let me see here. I'm trying to get back to my notes. Sorry. Okay, so we're on to the Nick Gage and Broski Jimmy. Jeez Louise, John. Sorry, I was pulling up a note on something here I want to talk about later. Okay, so Broski's Albuquerque speech, just as good as LA. I mentioned it before, just Broski Jimmy recently has just been fantastic. He somebody in the crowd said something, and Gage came, or Broski. Wow, man, what in the hell is going on? I was doing so good until hour 2 and minute 18. Okay, reset. Zack Ryder's dead is what he told the fans. His name is Matt Cardona, and show him some respect. Jimmy even has Cardona's answers down, which I thought was impressive. Jimmy said he started deathmatch wrestling because of Gage. He wanted to be just like Nick Gage. That's why he became a deathmatch wrestler. But it brought him to his lowest point in his life. Some fan yells, "Go lower." It threw Jimmy off just for a second. Back to the speech. Jimmy almost ended up in jail, just like Nick Gage. Then an angel came into his life, his mentor and hero, Matt Cardona. Cardona is a real role model, Jimmy said, someone he can look up to, unlike that drug-addicted bank robber Nick Gage. The MDK chants start up through the crowd. He says there's only one deathmatch king, and his name is Matt Cardona. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. And that's when the bell tolled. Out come Gage. Hughes pop as always. Albuquerque fans are loving their first Nick Gage entrance. Gage grabs the mic. Where's my fucking gang at? You knew he was going to ask. I'm noticing our matches have all had very clear face heel lines drawn. Did you notice that? There wasn't a lot of, well, is he this? Is he that? Like they kind of played it right down the middle. You're going to say fuck this guy and you're going to love this guy. I don't know. Maybe you saw it. Adore and Chair in the ring. The pizza cutter comes out, Jimmy bleeding from the forehead. It was perfectly streaming like lightning down the face. When Gage uses the pizza cutter on all four sides, I feel he should cut on the side with his back turned to the camera first. Then what we're basically seeing is nothing but fan reaction, which basically is nothing but anticipation. Then turn to the front and cut on camera, of course, because I need to tell Nick Gage how he does things. The most hardcore match of the night so far, I wrote here. I haven't seen light tubes in this state, but weapons are definitely fully in play. Gage wins in a little over 12 minutes, and it's MDK all fucking day. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was good. It finally got some violence. It gave the Albuquerque some blood that I know they were probably expecting from a GCW show. Like I said, I know like Nick Gage or Jimmy kind of said in the promo, like I enjoy that version, the death match. I'm out there just going to put my life on the line and risk it all. And I know he's always has good matches with Nick Gage. They somehow, some way, they got some weird chemistry together. Where I think if it does break down, Nick Gage is going to beat Jimmy back into the match. But Broski Jimmy, I know you said it last for the LA show, but for this one, that promo was really good. Like he hit the timing, he hit everything. Yeah, I think the fan said like Zack Ryder. I think he said like fuck Zack Ryder, and that's when they said like Zack Ryder's dead. I give him some respect, but him now being able to not get flustered in that moment and kind of go off script, maybe even a little bit to address that comment and then get back onto the promo says a lot to Jimmy's promo skills, as you were saying, and it's ever improving. And I'm glad to see it. We get to see a different dynamic of Broski, but seeing this one and against Nick Gage, I just want my deathmatch Jimmy back and have him in TOS and kind of go on a run and get some stuff. But as we've been kind of saying that Jimmy's been the workhorse and always there and always willing to do whatever, and the crowd always loves him. So him gonna get in this little push, even as Broski Jimmy, is cool to see. And but man, Nick Gage, going on this again. Yeah, he's looked like he's having fucking fun. He's moving around so good, man. I'm like every time I see Nick Gage, I'm like wow and smiling and happy because this is the Nick Gage I've always wanted to see, and now I feel like I'm getting to see, and I don't have to go back in the archives to get it. And I said, if he's like this, put him on the fucking belt again at this point. I don't even care, but seeing him being able to wrestle and still I like him too now, though. He's not literally the focal point every time. He's just putting on a match and being a part of the show instead of having the show revolve around him. And I think that's good because I think there was a point where it kind of got to that where if it was no Nick Gage, there was no show. It didn't feel like it. But seeing him now just kind of interject himself and have fun during that little time and then let everyone else have their moment has been really cool to see. But I think he's looking so good now. I want to see him be the focal point. Like that's how much he's impressed me as of late.
I'm open to it all, man. There's so many stars right now in GCW that off the top of my head, there's at least 5 or 6 that I'd be fine with taking the ball and running. Just easily.
Biz going off of Chad Gable. Yeah, we were kind of hoping to see and rooting for Chad Gable in Bloodsport. That was kind of what we were rooting for a couple weeks ago. Chad Gable, I think, would kill it anywhere he goes. And I'm kind of glad now he's doing what he's doing in WWE.
What's up, Biz?
All right, our main event of the evening, the GCW World Champion Blake Christian defending the belt against Effie. I'll let you go and do your notes, and I'll go on at the end or go in and give you a break if you need to. But I don't want to start it off with my words.
So here's what I will say about words, my friend. I don't know if you saw beforehand. I almost had 6,000 words in my writing. This show.
You need to start sending these to Cass, man. Start getting these up on the on the Body Slam. He'd love it.
So you know what? Someone actually told me, they go, dude, you're pretty much just writing articles. Why don't you just chop them up into 3 or 4 articles and slap your name on it and send them out? Maybe one day. I don't know. This match, I'm just being honest. I felt comfortable speculating Effie wasn't going to win the championship that night, basically because it's too small of a venue for such a big event if he did win.
And I had the opposite. I thought this
Okay.
was the night he was going to win. But if I were to say no, and that's what I was bitching to my wife about, I'm like, why are they doing it here in Albuquerque? Are they just trying to make this Breaking Bad and giving them a cool moment for it? I was like, there is bigger places. We've said off camera. I always thought Collective. Get a new champion, restart the story, start a new year, and go. Or we said AC too. So I actually, if I had to put money, I thought this was the night Blake was losing, but I was not happy. Why are they doing it at this venue? And there's not that many fans, and they're not going to be as happy, or we're not going to get the viral, visceral hatred from the crowd as we would have at the Collective or in AC. So I was with you on that, the venue part, but I actually really did think Effie was going to win during this night.
I love when we disagree because, okay, so here's the thing with it. I love when we disagree because I'm sure there's a fan out there that disagrees with me and agrees with you. And it's always nice to be able to have all listeners kind of get their points heard. So
I can't, I don't want to cut you off real fast. Sorry. Cause this is literally, this was what was going on in my head. The double switch night. I believe this is what the Great One's talking about. Like, we could draw parallels to when Nick Gage lost the title very unexpectedly in Nashville. I believe that's the night he lost it to AJ Gray.
Yep.
And then 10 seconds later, AJ lost it to RSP. That's what I was thinking this would happen, especially since the title switched twice that night, and the same thing could have happened here. Yes, that's what I was thinking was going to happen.
Good point.
Well,
Great one.
That was literally the scenario I was having in my head.
My next little note here, I'll always take an Elton John entrance over the Bussy entrance, and that's nothing negative on the Bussy mix. It's just Elton John's airy and graceful and gay, and that's exact projection that Effie sometimes wishes to portray. Something to be noted about Blake's character. He's more nervous about holding on to his title than ever before. You can see there are times where he's clutching it and looking around, almost paranoid. He's not confident like he used to be. And that's because there's just so many people now that are turning towards that title as a possibility for them, that I think that he's starting to feel that pressure.
And we saw the confidence grow when he got Shane Mercer. He's like, fuck you guys. Guess what? I got this belt. But yeah, now it's like, oh shit, Shane Mercer might not be enough for 2 or 3 of these tenders. I like that. I like that statement there.
Referee Galt was presiding over this bout, and I just wanted to mention, man, does an awesome job every time. The "We Love Fishnets" chant was very unique and something I've never heard in an Effie match before. Have you?
I heard, and that's why I'm glad you wrote this, because I was going to ask you, what were they chanting? Because I could not understand it. I heard "We want fish sticks." And I'm like, are they trying to make like a South Park joke with this and the fish sticks?
Right.
And the fish? That's what I heard. I didn't even think about fishnets. And like when I saw you have that, I'm like, oh, fishnets. Damn, I should have realized that's what they were saying. But I could not figure it out for life. I was like, it was bugging me.
That just never heard it before. You know, that was a weird one. I had to really think. I had my headphones on. You know how I listen with my headphones, so I can kind of,
mine were down on the desk.
Effie having the type of solid wrestling match that he couldn't have had a year ago, respectfully, the efforts he's made in this past year have paid off immensely, physically, for sure. Everything was going well until Mance showed up and disrupted everything. Effie accidentally knocked out Galt. Effie could have won, but Galt was still out. We counted like 3, 4, 5 there. But of course, Galt came back and Blake pulled out the win there. So in a little under 20 and a half minutes, Blake Christian retains the title. Any other thoughts you can think of about our main event here that you didn't discuss yet?
I'll agree. Effie showed showed how versatile he is, had a totally different match with Blake than what we normally see from Effie. And I'm glad, because this just shows what Effie wants to have: a death match, a comedy match, a good quick little 6-minute match against a legend. He's able to do whatever you ask him to do. And I'm glad he had this match, because it just showed another reason why he should be our champion in GCW. I, once again, respectfully hate the ending. I think it just made Mance look like a little, I hate to say that, like, not personally, don't come after me at one of these next shows, man. I think it just made him look like a little bitch here a little bit, because you're helping what you should be taken away from. Like, he should be picking his moment. I know his focus is on Effie, and I'm glad they did that stuff, but he should have done something to Blake too and took advantage of what he has and able to do, and let's use that do or die cash in at any time. Like, to me, it didn't make any sense of why you're using the future challenger to help the champion in the moment. I didn't like that at all, but it does make absolute perfect sense how he cost Effie the match. I just wish Effie would have won, Mance would have came out, and then he really could have cost Effie, and we get this damn belt off Blake at some point before he goes overseas to wrestle in the best of the Super Juniors. But I don't know. I feel like, man, it's just they dropped the ball, I think, at Collective. And as the longer it goes and each title defense, I'm going to get more and more angry. I think once again, this is not on Blake. I just think the time's up. We did refresh it a little bit with Mercer. We still have this Effie Mance stuff that you could go into, but I just think the time now is to get the title off Blake, let him go cause ruckus and cause hell on the rest of the GCW roster, not as the champion, but he once again had a great match against he's had a bunch of different title challengers and competitors going against him, and he just shows how valuable he is too. So once again, it's not nothing personally against Blake, as just character-wise, I just want to see freshness right now, and I just didn't get Mance not taking advantage of. Like, it just made it seem like he was I don't know, like they kind of like did a little thumbs up, kind of like, hey, I got you, we're good. But then you see Blake at the end, kind of, as you said, clutching it even more. Place like, oh shit, like that was like another first scare I've had, because Mance just came out to almost like take the belt away from him at Collective, and then now 2 weeks later, he's helping Blake. That just crosses my mind and doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Oh well, the heat was there, the crowd was into it. They further now Effie versus Mance. As someone said earlier, they think it's going to happen at COS. I think that's what I was predicting, and I did a little future booking of, hey, have Effie go through the gauntlet of TOS, Mance be champion, and oh shit, Effie now versus Mance after TOS and in COS and Cage of Survival, where no one could interfere, no one could save anybody. I think that's where it's ultimately going to end. But just traditionally, the last couple of years, they've had the TOS winner. The TOS winners wrestled against the champion in COS. I wouldn't mind like getting rid of that statement, like that thing too, because that was cool for when we didn't really have a challenger and stuff, or a big blood feud like how we did when it first came with Cologne and Murdoch. I think this is a blood feud now where you don't have to connect it to TOS. Have TOS kind of have its own little separate thing and winner, and let COS be Effie and Mance kind of thing that has nothing to do with it. So I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes. As you said, it just keeps getting worse and worse. Like the actions with Mance and Effie, but I was just a little bit disappointed at the ending again, just because Blake walks out as champion when they wants another missed opportunity to have something cool happen, in my opinion.
I won't argue on that. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I thought the reason I thought Effie was going to win, because I thought they were going to make a big deal of this Breaking Bad show, because I know Brett's been really wanting to run this place for a few years. I think he's been teasing it and wanting to do it for a while, and so him finally being able to do it, knowing him wanted to do something kind of cool, but we're saving it for another day, and that just keeps me on my toes, and that's a good thing. You don't want to expect it, but it is kind of cool when you expect something and get it. But I don't know. I just really hope they find some creative way to do whatever they plan on doing with Blake Christian's championship.
Oh, well. Did we do breaking GCW?
Yeah, I think it broke me there too.
Well, you heard me. I started breaking. I'm like, shit, I can't even get English words out of my mouth. Wow. Look at Bizzard. It's nice to see you, dude. Great one. Look at all these nice people that came in here tonight. Hell yeah. And they're able to have conversations. That's what I love too. It's really nice to have people.
They were having their own show while we were talking.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'd rather people come in here and find community. Like, that's what this is about, is community. So, let's see if there's anything else here. An upcoming show. There really isn't too much in GCW. There is a JCW show coming up this weekend. This will be on the 27th. That's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. JCW's The Strong Silent Type. This is from the Italian American Family Association in Clifton, New Jersey. And you can watch this for free on GCW's YouTube account. Some of the matches here are kind of interesting. We have Jordan Oliver versus Griffin McCoy.
Please
Again,
be the last time this happens.
yeah. Can we do like a buried alive match or something? Joey Janela versus Casey Catal, which will be very, very good. I'm actually calling that one to be better than most people will think.
I'm hoping it's like how Joey seems to give everyone that moment. I hope this is another cool breakthrough match for Casey Catal. That I don't know like what the venue's like. If Casey could get violent against Joey and Joey's going to get violent too, but even if it's a straight like regular no fuckery match, I think it could be Casey. I think that's going to show another side of what Casey could do before she got into like the deathmatch wrestling kind of stuff. And I'm excited for her to get this spotlight match on this card against Joey. This is a strong card for a JCW.
Very strong card.
Yeah.
There's matches I'm really looking forward to see on here. Next one is it. Marcus Mathers versus Alec Price. Hello, isn't that a fucking match? We're talking two young stars.
Yep. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. We're both on the same. This is great. Actually, this has been the most we've been on a same level. This is stronger than our usual group think that we have. And Mikowski. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Sorry. With that Marcus Alec, I hope it shows a struggle of just two young competitors trying to fight for like control of the JCW. I think that match should have like #1 contendership to the JCW title, in my opinion, because those are two young ones that could benefit and do a lot with JCW and have a nice 20-25 minute just back and forth. No one wants to quit. This is like their moment, their chance. I could see a nice, fun struggle match happen to those two. That could be match of the night even too.
Dude, that was a great call. I didn't even think about that one. I like that idea a lot because whoever it is has to face Masha, and then we could have a rematch between Alec and Masha. And that would be a real good one. Jordan. Okay, so we have then Matt Mikowski versus Isaiah Broner, which is going to be the meat match. I'm really looking forward to that one. Ali Catch versus CPA, very interesting. Of course, I'm guessing that's going to be more of a fun match. And then just announced an hour before we went on the air, Effie versus Brandon Kirk. Bringing the Kirks to GCW has been absolutely wonderful, and I can't wait to see them more.
Yeah. Isaiah Mikowski, I think Isaiah Broner versus Matt Mikowski, that match is going to be a hard hitting. I can't wait to see that match. That's going to be a strong, like, I just want them to stand in the middle and just beat the shit out of each other. I want a New Japan match right there. Just going at it, swinging. That is going to be good. Ali Catch CPA, I think that's going to be kind of like the little comedy match thrown in, but CPA is surprising whenever he takes the tie off or the multiple ties off. He could do some damage, and I would seen a more serious version. And Kirk versus Effie, that's an interesting pair. Like, Effie's going through some wars and still now even going to JCW and having a possible war against Kirk. Glad to see. I hope that one kind of stays a little bit more serious, but I know they're going to have their fun spots in, and Kirk's going to kill it either way because he could do comedy, he could do death match, he could do a regular match. And I'm glad to see, as you said, anytime we get the Kirks in GCW, I think they have infused a new life to it. But also, if they get more of a push, especially in the death match scene, that could reinvigorate the ultra-violent title scene, in my opinion, in GCW. So I think, I don't know, if Blake somehow wins and is able to take this belt to New Japan, we're not going to have our world champion. Rena is going to be around for TOS. Then what? I know that Brett's just said like she's been battling some injuries too. The extreme title, Maki, we've been extreme but not extreme title match. I don't know. Like I just kind of want to reset of our titles, focus, get back on there and start some new stories and everything. And I think with all the new blood that GCW has been using as of late, or reinfusing some old blood as of the Kirks, I think that could be a fun time for GCW right now. And it is. It's been very fun. We never know what to expect. We think we're so smart, but I'm not as smart as I always want to be. And it's been fun being wrong because it's been a fun way to be wrong.
I'm an amateur. I don't know much of anything. I'm a fan, and that's about it. We're just good speculators, and hey, if we come out right, that's a big bonus. Let's see here. Yeah, that JCW show. The next GCW shows that we have are on May 3rd in Tampa, Florida, at the Egypt Shrine Center. That's going to be where Mance and Effie throw down, and then here we are back in Philadelphia. No, I'm sorry, at Jersey City, New Jersey, at the White Eagle Hall. That's the
World on
place where we saw a
Lucha.
lot of JCW shows. Oh,
That's where the J-Cup is.
That's what. Okay, because I'm sitting here going,
I'm
isn't
pretty
that
sure
the
that's
one
the
that
same
has
venue.
the animal on the wall, and
Yeah, I'm
or is
pretty sure
that
that's
the lodge? There's a lodge one somewhere too. I think we used to go to, but
no, White Eagle Hall, yeah, the J-Cup, and I like it. But
okay.
that's gonna be a good crowd and a good fun World on Lucha. Is Gringo posted a couple matches today? That's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it.
Damn, look at that! No Las Vegas.
That's
I feel bad for our.
off.
I feel bad for our listeners to go. These fucking guys really have a stick up their ass about Las Vegas. Yeah, we only see them once a year. So
my point
I'll
is,
stop
we showed out
next week.
Oh, I'm not going to stop complaining, man. We showed out at Lifestyle. The crowd was hot. It was full. It was energy was awesome. But then, like, Pops is getting its like fifth show in a year. Like, they were just in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago. They're going to be back there in 2 weeks again. Like, I
yeah.
That's
look at
the
Phoenix, June 16th. Like, yeah, I honestly think this is a problem at a local level. This is a problem at a local level. I truly feel that's what's going on. And again, I don't know anything. I'm just saying, I'm sure they wanted to be here during Double or Fucking Nothing weekend to make money.
Did you hear the cool little backstory on the Silver Nugget? Like how it's the first ever recorded like ultra violent or death match kind of stuff in the States, because the first time they used light tubes.
What? There. Okay, let's talk. So it was at Silver Nugget.
On the Patreon, okay. So I can't remember too much, but like they were talking about on the Patreon at Silver Nugget back in like the 70s, I think it was. That was like the first actual and it was on accident. Like I guess one of the light fixtures fell, and one of the tubes was like in the ring, and somebody picked it up and used it in the ring against somebody. That's like the first actual like recorded. Somebody like first time it's light tubes were used in wrestling. It was in the Silver Nugget. Like that, I was like, what? I didn't expect that like little tidbit in there, because I know they used to do a lot of like the old. I forgot what company it was. They used to have like some pretty big shows like over there and at the Showboat and stuff. But yeah, they were talking about it. It's pretty cool. I've never heard of Patreon. I don't know if it was like this last episode or the one beforehand, but they talked about it when I was driving to LA because I was catching up on all my Patreons, and I thought that was a very cool tidbit that I never knew of.
Unbelievable. I had no idea. So we were sitting in a historic venue and didn't even know that what history has been there.
And it's like perfect for GCW. Like that is GCW. So no wonder why they allowed the light tubes and stuff like that. Early 90s. Okay. But yeah, that was a pretty cool story. I would go back and listen to Patreon. If I could go back and find, I'll tell you where to listen to it, because it was actually, they went in depth on it pretty good. It was interesting.
Patreon is where we first were hearing some of the stuff that Brett was saying about Game Changer Weekly, because I had the guts to just ask him, what do you think? And yeah, that's where it all started. And then after we heard what he said about Game Changer Weekly on Patreon, we're like, we've got to talk to him and get on the same page. And we had to let him know what we're looking for and what we want. And he needed to understand that we're not trying to get money and all this shit and free stuff. And no, so that would be nice, but that's not where we're here for. We've been doing this ever since we had less than 10 listeners. We've been doing it the same way too. So yeah. Isn't that interesting? But very thankful. We're doing well. And yeah, we're now with Team GCW in some crazy way, and that feels surreal. But here we are. So hard work pays, my friend. We're still under 2 years yet of completion under our belt. I've said it before, but I haven't said it on this show. A lot of people don't understand how many hours go in. Like there's a lot of hours that go in. My 6,000 words tonight took me probably 8 to 9 hours to write. Everything that was written there that you guys heard tonight took me hours to write, but totally worth it, because I feel like it really enhances the show with well thought out thoughts. I guess, that's why I write instead of But yeah, I think it helps add to the show. And now that we have so many people tuning in and listening that we're thankful for, I try to make sure that what we do say is a little more quality-ish.
Yeah.
We're
So
doing it.
yeah, this is. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I am done. This is kind of cool what he just wrote.
Yeah, so that's what I remember hearing on them, especially like Virgil was involved in all this stuff, even like it was crazy. But yeah, it was that promotion with Sabu, Cactus Jack, and yeah, Virgil out of all people.
Unbelievable, dude.
I'll go back and find it on the Patreon and send it to you because it was actually a good listen. Actually, the Patreon too. As much as I shit on it before, I kind of stopped listening to it, but literally now that's all I listen on these drives. I kind of play catch up, and Brett's totally changed his mood. He's more into it and everything, and it's we getting it a lot more often now than we were too. So I definitely suggest going on the Patreon and checking out their podcast and checking out all the other different levels and getting the merch packages and all that stuff. It's been I did take some time away from Patreon, and since I dropped the levels and kind of been so busy, but now after this weekend, I was actually on Patreon when I got back to the hotel afterwards, checking out some of the old stuff and pictures and behind the scenes stuff.
Nice.
So I was playing catch up on it, and I'm like, fuck, I should have been keeping up on it because I would have had a lot more stuff to talk about on here that I've been hearing on it and stuff like that. So definitely check it out.
We did it. We did it. Yeah. I know about that one. That's interesting.
I never heard that one. That's it. I have to go check this out. NWC.
Yeah, I get a hold of Great One offline here and see what he has to say about that.
I want to see where I can find this stuff at. That's what I want to do. And I'm glad I remember too, like when I first, Emil, when he was on here and he kind of told us about the Fish and Chips Patreon, when I first talked to him at the Vegas show, and like I told him like, dude, where do you find all these wrestlings that you're putting on the DVDs and could watch it? He told me about it, but I wrote down something completely different than the Fish and Chip shit. And
I got the Fish and Chips one. I can give you a thing to at least know which one it is, dude. They have some amazing stuff that they send out. Like every couple weeks, they'll just send out like like this rare show and this rare show from the 90s and this show from the 70s and 80s and this show that's rare from the 2000s. And dude, it's
is
just
that library still there?
Over.
Like, so if I hop on now, I can go back and check out everything they've been posting all the time.
Oh yeah, because
I gotta join it.
Like I think he's on like 8 or 9 drops right now, and every drop has at least 12 matches in it, and it or not matches but shows, sometimes full shows. There's a couple shows I saw on there didn't even have audio. It's just you're watching the video, and it's so fucking cool. Rare shows from the WWF from like in the 80s and shit. So cool. 90s rare WWF. Dude does it right.
Checking it out.
If you have questions, let me see if I can get a hold and get the thing for you. But I think it's like $6.50 a month, and it's totally worth it. And again, I'm just telling you what I'm personally using that I thought was cool because I'm a nerd and I like to watch a little old school wrestling sometimes, but I'm a big fan of rare wrestling.
I think that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to pop in those DVDs that Emil got me, that I bought from him, and I'm going to check them out. They've just been sitting there. I haven't checked them out yet.
Dude, I've heard so many good things about those DVDs because he has such a depth of collection that he puts real time into going, okay, this one's different than this, and this one's different than this. So, I mean, they're hand selected by a true wrestling nerd, you know. Recommended. Cool. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
For sure. All right, I'm glad I got some of that though. Like that was cool to talk about the old history of the Silver Nugget. I thought that was
incredible. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, now I do want to check out all this other stuff. Oh my god, let's add some more to my plate. Like GCW is not enough every weekend.
Well, I'll say this much: this was an excellent show. This was the show where we got to say that one of our goals were met. The company says, "Hey, man, we love what you're doing. We'll do what we can to support you." And it didn't come from the company as much as it came directly from Brett, face to face, men to men talking. And it was, it's nice. I don't have another way to put it. It feels like our hard work is slowly being seen, and that's fantastic. We're hearing from wrestlers all the time that they appreciate what we're saying, be it good or bad. Luckily, we're 99.5% positive. Yeah. We try our best. Look at you laughing over there. You're like, 99, not 99.5. But
I'm about to say, I haven't heard anything, knock on wood, but I'm just waiting for that day because I know that days will come. And like I said, you don't have to agree with everything we say. It's just our opinions, everything. Like we kind of even say here, hey, this one's not for me yet. Even like how with Hunter Drake, we go back to that conversation. I've had many of those wrestlers where I'm like, and then holy shit, yes, I like that person. So it's just all opinions here.
You know who won me over that I really didn't talk about that I was rough on initially too, and I'll say it because I didn't think about it, but alley catch. Initially, for a while there, I felt like she was just dialing it in, and I was like, listen, man, she's working like she's got heavy boots. She's not doing anything. She's not, and I don't know how much she probably liked that or even heard it at all ever. But I can say that here come the bussy work. That first title run for it was holy shit. And then here come all the work after that. And I can say in the last probably 4 months or so, Allie has been putting in some effort to be different, to do different things, and that has shown up in the ring. So I guess that's the last one I can say that I ever said anything negative about, literally ever, except for that guy with the thing on his hand here tonight in Arizona or in New Mexico. Outside of Mr. Rogers and Cody there, or whatever his name was. So I just want to say that, even just to kind of clear the air, because now I get to kind of do all that. But yeah, it was rough on Allie, and then she really changed my mind. And her work recently and her work with Bussy on that title run was just fantastic, and it changed my mind. So if I hadn't said it before, I want to say it now. I think I have washed my hands and cleared everything of every performer and wrestler. I don't say anything negative too much, and when I do, like with Hunter, it bugged me for a fucking year. Like, I don't like that energy out there. And yeah, and then he won me over, and the best thing I can do is say I'm wrong.
Yep. I've said that many times. I think I say that once a show here. Oh, I was wrong.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It happens, man. I'm right there with you. I don't admit it as much, but I'm double the amount of wrong. We did it. 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's an old school show, my friend. This is an old school show.
So next week we could cover the JCW show. I probably will, but we're also going to look to try to get a guest on here as well next week. So keep an eye out on Twitter or X on any possible announcements or surprises. And we may have a nice full show planned next week as well.
We may have a guest. We'll have to figure that one out. I feel strongly we'll have a good one. We'll just have to figure out which good one it's going to be.
Right.
No, man, GCW wrestlers are fucking awesome to talk to. They're all nice as fuck. So whoever comes on, it's going to be entertaining. There's no wrong.
Everyone has been fun, and I'm excited.
Everyone can come. Like I said earlier, any wrestler who was ever on or wants to come on that's a GCW regular is more than welcome to come on here. We love surprises. Just hit me up or hit Bran up.
Absolutely. Okay.
Look at that.
There's the goodbye on.
It's over 2 a.m. on the East Coast. I mean, hell, we're doing it hardcore for some of the insomniacs. So I'm proud of that, because man, back in the day, I'd have sleeping problems and nothing to fucking do. So it's kind of cool that somebody, is putting out some content for late night dumbasses like us.
Big shout out, Alan, Biz, great one. We had all the normals, and I might be missing one or two of them.
I don't know if we'd call them normals. Kev is always fucking fantastic.
Kev,
he came in.
I knew there was one I was missing.
I know Fire J wasn't in here, but he was promoting us online. There's so much going on, man. This is great.
Just wanted to say big shout out. Thank you all again. As John said, it's probably late night. I know Biz is out East Coast late night, and great one. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out the entire time in the chat, posting good questions, good comments, and good information for us to use. And now good wrestling for me to go check out here soon.
So I hope everybody learned
last words
something.
You want to take on?
I want to say good morning to half the people in Scotland that are waking up to listen to us. We got a couple of fans over there that they sometimes will wake up early, or they'll just start their day with us. We love you. We love you. We are thinking about you all the way across the country. I have a bunch of Scottish roots on me, so I think that's cool as hell. Either way, no matter where you're from, we love you all. We're literally being listened to on every continent except for Antarctica. We are rocking. I got to say that. I don't think we ever told anybody on this show, but the first listener we ever had on Game Changer or on the Plant podcast was somebody underneath Washington DC or some shit at the.
That was the trippy part, yeah. Like literally on the the west lawn or the east lawn, whatever it is.
Like at the fucking White House, someone was listening. It pinged at the White House. We're like, okay, who the hell is? So we figured we're either being investigated because it's a new podcast, or maybe they're just like, okay, someone might be a fan that works in the military or something. That's cool.
Here's a little inside ball. It's probably Stephen A. putting his hit out on us in GCW.
Oh, that's what it is. I do hope to talk and maybe see Stephen A again, because I'm hoping he's not gone, but it sounds like he's done with Patreon. So
I would love to have him on, even just not even on. It could be on the podcast. I would love just to pick his brain because he's like not out there in a bad way, but he gets you thinking, and I would like to just get to thinking with him and hear some of his thoughts and see also too like because he knows a lot of obviously stuff about the death matches out in Japan and out here and everything. So here's some of his thoughts and opinions on it, unfiltered, would be kind of nice and different to hear.
Without Stephen A's advice to me, Game Changer Weekly would not be in your hands and my hands, period. At one time, Plant Podcast wanted to really be on Patreon. We really wanted to provide content because content at the time was kind of slim at the time. And so we wanted to do what we could to kind of throw our hats in the ring. And I was kind of whiny about it. I'm like, man, why am I working all this time to, put together a 2, 3, 4 hour show? Sometimes 2, 3, 4 hour shows
Multiple. Yep.
week, multiple shows a week. And then, Game Changer would just have like some guy that's never watched wrestling come on and be like, oh, look at that. And I'm like, man, that's frustrating. So anyway, Stephen A got a hold of me. He's like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's how it is. If you do a show, you're not going to be able to do a show publicly and this and that. And if there's anything we've kind of prided ourselves on, it's the fact that as long as you have an internet connection, you can hit us up and talk to us. Like you can access what we're doing, I mean, if you've got $7, $8 a month for Triller, that covers the show. Then if you've got internet, that covers listening to us. So, there are things where we could ask for money and all this good stuff, and we keep forgetting to put them up because it's not our thing. You know what I mean? But outside of that, man, we've been running on love, and then GCW went, hey, yeah, I know, right there. But GCW showing us love now, and we're just super thankful. So I can tell you, when I came home from the show that night, it was adrenaline and happiness. I didn't get to sleep till 2 that night. I woke up 7 the next morning. I got a little bit of breakfast, hit the beach, came home. I was dead fucking tired. I didn't sleep that next night hardly at all because I was just like, oh my God, all my hard work here with Brant just kind of came together. And yes, so we're just going to do our best to represent the fans and be the best, fans voice that we can be. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah. Yeah, but we're tired and we're rambling, but we did an awesome job. I hope that everybody learned a little something. I learned something from fans tonight. I learned something from you, Brent. Like, this is awesome. Nobody goes away.
I always learn.
So, yeah, there's always something. But all right, bud, you ready to do this?
Yes, quick, since we're not making any money, go to Slam Chats, show us your support, and donate to bodyslam.net team. Oh, and I was blocking the mic. I was supposed to go the other way.
I know, right?
It's probably blocked. Still can't hear.
Hey, it's real though. If anybody wanted to, obviously they could go down there and donate, and that would get back to us. But honestly, we want you to know that we love you either way, and we're doing it just as it is right here.
If you've been listening to us on Game Changer Week, this is probably the first time you've seen this come up because we forget about it all the time because we're
dumbasses sometimes. It happens.
Like we cost our own selves money, but we're not looking for the money. Obviously, we do this for free. We've been doing it for free and probably will be doing it for free for a while. And
we're not stopping.
All good. Yep, we're just gonna keep on getting GCW some more fans.
So let's do this, brother. Okay. Almost 3 hours in, we did it. Okay, ready.
3 hours.
Long. Ooh, that was good. Live. You fucked it up that time. See, I'm going too fast. I fucked it up too. Okay. We got this. Long.
Live.
Fuck.
Long.
Okay.
Live.
Long. Live.
GCW.
Good night, guys. I fucking love y'all.